Good afternoon and welcome to Monte Vista Field here in Danville, where the Crawdads are set to take on the first place Sonoma Stompers, who just won their 18th game of the year yesterday and carry a 3-game winning streak into today. Hi, I'm Kasey Kazliner, joined alongside Charlie Limoncelli here on this sunny Wednesday afternoon. Crawdads and Stompers, two foes that have played multiple times this year, squaring off again. Crawdads on a 4-game losing streak in league play, lost yesterday to Menlo for the 3rd time this year. And of course, the Crawdads have just been losing a lot of close games this year, Charlie. They have Aiden White on the hill today. What are you expecting out of this performance?
Consistency. Aiden White has been the epitome of consistency for Walnut Creek this season. Casey making, I believe, his 4th start on the season, 0.48 ERA. He's just been dominant. Can strike guys out, can force weak contact, just really is exceptional on the hill. And I think that's been the problem. Pitching overall in the weekend series against Slow, yesterday in Menlo, pitching inconsistency has been kind of the bane of the Crawdads thus far. They really need a lockdown performance from the staff today.
Well, White, like you mentioned, ERA under 0.5. It's his first performance since committing to Amarillo College in Texas. We'll talk more about that program during the broadcast, but White looking for a new opportunity after just playing 1 game at Nebraska last year in the Big Ten, team that won the Big Ten tournament. Let's get into the lineups for the Crawdads. Starting in center field, Trey Johnson, the outfielders beside him, Levitt McGee in left, Donnelly in right. And then infield right to left, Ewens, Esquivel, DeFazio, Leininger, DH spot Wilson, and in the squat is Clisby. For the Stompers to lead off this top of the 1st inning, it'll be Colton Boardman, who mans the leadoff spot. Had some injuries lately in the lineup. No Nick Sebastiani today. Sebastiani, very disciplined hitter, lefty, digging in against the lefty Aiden White to start this ball game. Low 80s temps, a little bit of wind here in Danville. Boardman carrying a .296 average into the game with 20 walks and 14 stolen bases. First pitch of the game, slider outside and low. Ball 1 on Colton Boardman, a sophomore out of Cal State Northridge, teammate of Crawdads infielder Cam Calvillo. The 1-0 pitch, fastball runs outside, 2-0 on Boardman. 5'9", 170-pound sophomore. Has 5 hits in his last 2 games. Won a table set today. Riley Leininger, the 3rd baseman, in on the grass a little bit. The 2-0 pitch is low. Aiden White yet to find the zone. A quick 3-0 on Boardman here in the top of the 1st. White, a big strikeout guy. Want to find the zone here on 3-0. Winds and delivers. Fastball outside corner, ball, strike 1. Boardman tossed the bat. He thought it was ball 4 as he shakes his head. 3-1.
Well, that's what happens sometimes when you get a little cocky in the batter's box. Good job there from White. I think he's pulling a little bit his pitches so far. Everything's been down and away.
The 3-1 pitch from White. Fastball in there for a strike, in on the knees, but it's called a strike. Good recovery from White, 3-2.
Really nice recovery from White right now.
The payoff pitch, he kicks and fires. This one skied in foul territory on the left side. Leininger chasing, but it's going to land out of play. Stick at 3-2. Boardman at Cal State Northridge, .247 average in 2025. Team that struggled severely, but not a bad year for him as a freshman. 97 total at-bats. White trying to get the out as he nods to Clisby's sign. Gets set, now fires the payoff pitch again. Fouled straight back above us. We'll do 3-2 again as Boardman working a good at-bat here to start the game.
Absolutely had a couple of tough pitches in the kind of painted the corners of the strike zone. Now White really working in on the hill.
Another payoff from White. Swing and a miss. Inside corner, 77-mile-an-hour changeup in on the hands, and the first out of the game is a strikeout. Aiden White has his first.
That is a really nice at-bat for Aiden White after delivering 3 straight balls, goes back inside, paints the zone, and then a nasty breaking ball to get the at-bat over with.
It's another lefty in the 2-hole. Max Handren from Cal digs in. 4 total lefty hitters in this Sonoma order as the first offering outside corner called a strike, 79-mile-an-hour slider. 0-1 from Aiden White, trying to decrease his ERA even lower. Wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the CCL Showcase next week. The 0-1 Fastball fouled straight back, a quick 0-2, and White will be looking to go back to the punch-out stuff again. Handren on a 6-game hitting streak, only has 1 appearance without a hit this season for Sonoma. Teammate of Joey Donnelly over at Cal, where he's played a handful of years. White in for the sign, the 0-2 pitch from the windup. Check swing on the outside corner, appeal over to first. Umpire finally signals a ball after a long decision. Ball was in the dirt. It'll go 1-2 on Max Handren.
Home plate umpire David Lee appealed to the wrong side, went to Ron Masso over at first when he needed to go to Eric Thompson at third for the lefty batter.
Umpires make mistakes sometimes, as we know.
Indeed they do.
The 1-2 pitch. Hit high up in the air, left side, going toward foul territory, and it'll get out of play. We'll do 1-2 again. Handren having a really good season in limited action, hitting .353 with 12 total hits in only 8 games.
Also 11 RBIs in that small sample size. He's been rather effective.
Hit his first home run of the season 2 games ago. It'll be 1-2 on him with 1 out in the top of the first, scoreless as White looks in the 1-2. Slider on the outside corner, close pitch, but it's taken for a ball. 2-2 on Handren. Lineup for Sonoma starts with 2 lefties, a righty, and then another lefty. So lefty heavy in the top part of the order. White's 2-2 from the windup. 79-mile-an-hour slider outside. Another full count to start this game. Back-to-back now. As we'll see a payoff coming up from White with 1 out.
He's gone 2 straight sliders low and away. Might look for a fastball inside here.
Payoff pitch from White. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks to start the game for Aiden White. As he's showing why he's one of the best pitchers in the CCL North. Got him with the 89-mile-an-hour heater low in the zone, and there's 2 away.
What I tell you, Casey, fastball inside did the trick.
There you go. That'll bring up McCann Libby. First righty hitter we see of the day. He's hitting .230 on the year on a 4-game hitting streak. Hits in 6 of his last 7. As the righty hitter digs in against the lefty White. Swings at the first pitch he sees, drives it out to straightaway center field. Johnson charging, puts the glove up, makes the catch. Side retired in order to start the ball game. Aiden White looking good. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Crawdads and Stompers scoreless. Crawdads set to come up for the first time in the bottom of the first as they sat down the Stompers 1-2-3 in the top half of the inning. It'll be Devin Laginto, the right-hander, to start things for Sonoma. He has a bit of a sidearm delivery. We saw him earlier in the year pitch against the Crawdads in Sonoma, and he struggled a bit, gave up 4 earned runs in what was an eventual 10-1 loss for Sonoma. But the Stompers have been very good lately, and Laginto, one of their D1 pitchers in the portal out of GCU. Currently holding a 3.12 ERA with the Stompers. Has actually a complete game on the year as well in 5 total starts. So he'll face the top of this Crawdads order, team vying to get back in the win column after getting swept in slow, losing yesterday to Menlo, and then another game to Menlo before that slow series. So the Crawdads on a 4-game losing streak, only to 2 teams. But this division is very close. They could come back, certainly, with just a few wins. Well, let's get into the lineup for the Crawdads. Batting first, Trey Johnson. Wilson second, Joey Donnelly third, Ewens, Clisby, Leininger, Esquivel, Levin McGee, and in the 9-hole, DeFazio. As we'll see the lefty hitter, Trey Johnson, start things off. He's playing center field today. 5 lefties, 4 righties in the order today for Walnut Creek. Pretty balanced team. And Devin Laginto will toe the rubber from the first base side against Trey Johnson, who's on a 3-game hit streak. Johnson Let's see his average go up and down this year, currently hitting .237. The first pitch from Laginto from the windup, the sidearm delivery as Johnson shows bunt and gets it foul on the left side, 0-1. Johnson does have speed, so not totally surprising to see him try to lay one down. So he readies up again with his black bat. Laginto with his socks pulled up high, the 0-1. Fastball in there for a strike. 0-2.
Mentioned Johnson's been kind of up and down in terms of his batting average. I was talking to him before the game.
The 0-2 pitch. A little bit low on the breaking ball, 70 miles an hour, 1-2.
And he mentioned to me that he's just trying to stay calm, let things come to him. You know, he's kind of adopted of a carefree sort of worldview.
The 1-2. Fastball high and outside, 2-2. Yeah, it seems like that. You know, obviously had the really good start to the year and hasn't had the same fortunes lately, but again, they trust him in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, now he's just focusing mostly on his defense.
The 2-2 pitch with nobody out. Driven out to right field in the ballpark as Shannon just takes a step in and makes the catch for out number 1. So Johnson 0 for 1. He'll want a table set, like we mentioned, a guy that has the capability of doing so, as that'll bring up Brady Wilson, the designated hitter. First righty in the order for Walnut Creek with one away here in the bottom of the first. Still scoreless. Wilson hitting .222 on the year, has not hit in many games. Two-way guy trying to earn some playing time. Laginto, the righty, delivers from the windup. 69-mile-an-hour breaking ball, a little bit low, 1-0. And Laginto has that really slow off-speed pitch, low in the zone. We've seen that 69-mile-an-hour pitch a few times. The 1-0 floats in for a strike. 67 miles an hour that time on the inside corner, 1-1.
Yeah, he relies really heavily on the breaking ball. Doesn't use the fastball a whole lot. Confuses quite a few hitters.
The 1-1 in there for a strike, outside corner fastball, and that time 86 miles an hour. Just shows the range on his speed. 1-2 on Wilson. We'll have to protect the plate now with 2 strikes. A quick delivery from Laginto, runs outside, slider in the dirt. 2-2 on Wilson, native of Sacramento. But he'll go to University of the Pacific next year along with some of his Crawdads teammates. The 2-2 from Laginto. Pitch close, but inside a little bit, 70 miles an hour, and the count runs full on Wilson, who thought about going but held up.
Yeah, really good eye from Brady Wilson there. Saw the break just below the knees. Stays alive.
Full count on Wilson with 1 out. Laginto agrees to the sign. The payoff pitch. Fastball just outside. Ball 4, 85 miles an hour. And the first base runner of the game is Brady Wilson as he trots over to first, and that'll bring up Joey Donnelly, who hit 1 out yesterday.
Indeed he did. Was on the call for that one. Kasey slapped it deep into right field. Bit of a short porch in Menlo, or in College of San Mateo, where the Menlo Park Legends play, but he clobbered it all. That's for sure.
Donnelly with 2 home runs on the year as the lefty hitter digs in. One of the highest averages we've seen this year, 415 on the dot right now. First offering to Donnelly in there for a strike. 80-mile-an-hour changeup all over the heart of the plate. 0-1 to Donnelly with Brady Wilson over at first. He has a short lead over there. Laginto toes the first base side of the rubber in the stretch. The 0-1. Pitch a little bit low, 71-mile-an-hour pitch. Taken for a ball, 1-1 to Donnelly. Played his years at Cal to start things out, now going to Fordham. Leads the Crawdads in hits. Has hits in 14 of his last 19 games. The 1-1. Hit softly foul to the right side. Count goes to 1-2. Laginto with a quick delivery. Even from the windup we've seen, not afraid to kind of quick pitch these guys. 1-2 count on Donnelly. Wilson over at first with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Still searching for our first runs. Throw over to first. Close play. Wilson barely slid back in time. Took a little bit of a hesitation. Donnelly at the plate, waits for the 1-2. Another throw over to first. Wilson back without a slide. In safely. Donnelly's OPS has been over 1,000 for nearly the whole season. Trying to keep that up here at the losing streak. The 1-2 hits softly on the ground over toward third. This one might be a base hit. Andren picks it up, throws to first, not in time. And it's an infield single for Joey Donnelly as he extends his good week. Runners at first and second with only one out.
Yeah, that's a really great piece of hitting. Donnelly just catches the baseball with the end of the bat, had to protect the plate with 2 strikes, and he's able to get a really good spin on it. Puts it in a spot where Handren nor Laginto can get there.
That brings up the cleanup man, John Ewens, with an RBI opportunity. And if you want an RBI, he's the guy to call on a 10-game hit streak. Has 20 RBIs on the year. That's toward the top of the CCL North ranks.
And not only is on a 10-game hit streak, Casey, but finally had his first multi-hit game in a while yesterday. 2 doubles and a single. He was magnificent against the Legends.
Was a game the Crawdads lost, but even when they've lost, he's a guy that's really stepped up. As it stands right now, runners at first and second. 1 out as Wilson and Donnelly gotten aboard so far. Laginto trying to get out of the early trouble with the lefty hitter Ewens standing in. Ewens has hits in 16 of 20 games he's played in this year. Like you said, the multi-hit game yesterday. Laginto from the stretch, he fires to Ewens outside. 84-mile-an-hour fastball taken for ball 1, 1-0. Ewens a guy that strikes out quite a bit, but also gets a lot of hits to supplement that. He's also not afraid to lean into one. 9 hit by pitches on the year. Laginto looking over at second, now home, as that one's roped to right field, down for a base hit. Brady Wilson chugging toward home around third, Donnelly charging toward third, and the Crawdads up 1-0 on the RBI double from John Ewens.
Casey, that is a fantastic piece of hitting from Ewens. Just ropes it on a line into shallow right field by the foul territory line. Wow, great, great stuff.
Wilson came around to score, used his speed, Donnelly into third, and it's 1-0 Walnut Creek with now runners on second and third with only 1 out. And that'll bring up the righty hitting catcher, Brandon Clisby, with a big RBI chance for him. He has 10 ribbies on the year. He's also on an 8-game on-base streak. Only 1 out in the inning. Laginto trying to get out of the trouble. There is a base open. First pitch to Clisby in the dirt. Slider taken for a ball, 1-0. Clisby has hits in all but 3 games he's played in, including 6 multi-hit games. Another guy you like in the middle of this order to mash. Donnelly at third, Ewens at second. Laginto takes a breath, fires the 1-1. Excuse me, the 1-0 is low. 2-0. Clisby takes outside.
Clisby, perhaps the best offensive catcher for Walnut Creek. Just a guy who continues to mash for average and power.
The 2-0 to him. Runs inside. 70-mile-an-hour changeup around the knees. 3-0 on Clisby. Likely will keep the bat on his shoulder here. There is a base open. Wouldn't be the worst thing for the Stompers if they walked him. It'll be Riley Leininger up next. As Laginto steps off. Wipes his face with his jersey. 3-0 to Clisby. Playing in the catcher spot today where he shared duties with Zach Justice. The 3-0 pitch. That one taken low, ball 4, 71-mile-an-hour slider. And that loads the bases for Riley Leininger. It's now 2 walks in the inning for Devin Laginto. As it's now Donnelly at third, Ewens at second, Clisby over at first. And we'll have a meeting on the mound now as looks like Mike Nunez, the pitching coach, trotting out to Laginto, who's in a bit of trouble here early.
Yeah, a bit of a familiar sight or familiar experience for Laginto. Struggled against the Crawdads. His first time facing them back on June 25th. Allowed 3 hits and 3 walks, 4 earned runs, 5 total scored on his watch in 3 innings. Now you've got to face Leininger, who's a pretty hot bat. Had an RBI single in the 8th yesterday to bring the Crawdads within 1 of the Legends.
And this is a type of game where Stompers are in first, but not by much. Crawdads are creeping behind, obviously in a bit of a skid right now. But Stompers 18-11, then followed by the Merchants, who are 13-8. Then stand the Crawdads in third, 14-10. As Nunez, pitching coach, heads back to the dugout. Until we'll keep things going on the hill. It's the lefty hitting third baseman, Riley Leininger, will come in now. 1 out in the inning. Crawdads lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Only 1 out. Leininger up with the bases loaded. He'd love a big knock here. Hasn't had many extra base hits on the season. A shrug from Laginto, fires from the stretch, and that one hit hard towards short. It's going to trickle through for a base hit. 1 run scores, Here comes Ewens. He's going to score. Leininger trying to get to second as Donnelly gets to third. And it looks like it'll be a base hit and an error officially, as it's a 2-run single for Riley Leininger. It's 3-0 Crawdads.
Another great piece of hitting from the Crawdads. Leininger just puts bat to the ball. Tough play for the shortstop Boardman, and Hageman really struggled to put it in the glove and throw it into the infield.
So the Crawdads with some early business so far as Clisby goes to third.
Something they've struggled with all season, Kasey, scoring early. Already 3 runs here in the bottom of the first. Might be what the doctor ordered for a struggling team.
So the righty hitter Chris Esquivel digs in, trying to keep the production going. Crawdads up 3-0 with only 1 out here in the bottom of the first. First offering from Laginto in there for a strike. 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball in the outside corner. Leininger over at second. Clisby on third. Already 3 runs on 3 hits across for the Crawdads. The 0-1 to Esquivel, hit straight to short, and it eats up Boardman. Gets into left field. Both runs are going to score. Wow, the Crawdads keep things going. It's a 2-run reach on an error as Esquivel gets to first, and it's 5-0 Walnut Creek.
Wow. Boardman and Hageman struggling up the middle defensively. And it's going to be costly now. Stompers with a 5-run deficit in just the first inning. They've got a long way to work back now.
So after Trey Johnson was retired to start the game, everyone has been able to get on, as it's now 5-0 Crawdads. Esquivel over at first with Casey Levitt-McGee, the lefty hitter, digging it. First pitch from Laginto. Fastball outside corner in there for a strike, 0-1. Levitt-McGee has had an up-and-down season, but one thing that stayed consistent for him is the walks. Leads the team with 18 on the year. Had 2 hits against the Legends a few games ago. Throw over to first to check on Esquivel, back in safely.
Levitt-McGee also had 3 hits against the Tigers in that exhibition match on Monday, including a triple.
They'll wait on the 0-1 from the righty hitter. Big lead over at first from Esquivel. Gets back as another throw from Laginto.
Some boos from the Crawdad dugout or in the Crawdad faithful.
Levitt-McGee with that signature yellow bat. It's done him well pretty much this year ever since he switched to it. The 0-1. Fastball in there for a strike. A little bit of a late call. It's quickly 0-2 on Levitt-McGee. Played his high school ball at Sacred Heart Cathedral Prep in San Francisco. Played last year with the Alameda Merchants in the CCL, where he was named an All-Star. The 0-2, a pitch out, and the back pick over to first. Esquivel in there safely. Pitch, of course, called the ball, 1-2. Levitt-McGee last year with the Merchants hit .326. Came over to the Crawdads with pitching coach Dustin Chaney. Of course, the two know each other from Laney College as well. The 1-2 from Laginto, pitch outside, 2-2. 74-mile-an-hour slider. Esquivel over at first. Of course, hit one sharply for the short. Looked like it might have been due for a ground out, but it brought in a couple of runs on the air. 2-2. Rope to the right side. Is it fair? No. Line drive down the right field line. Just goes foul. 2-2 still on Levitt-McGee.
Great contact. He was just a touch early ahead of the off-speed pitch from Laginto. Be great to see him get going, hitting just 200 on the season. It's been up and down.
Esquivel looming over at first. DeFazio's next. Swing and a miss. Late swing on the 2-2 from Levitt-McGee, and he's fooled on the 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball, and there's 2 away. So the 9th man to hit in this bottom of the first is Nico DeFazio as the Crawdads lead 5-0. They've reached on 2 errors and have 3 total hits. Esquivel's over at first. DeFazio playing short today. Another local guy, originally from Oakland. First offering to him in there for a strike. Slider on the outer corner, 0-1. DeFazio last played his D1 ball at Pacific, but he'll go to Houston Christian next year. So he hits the 0-1 straight to third. Handren picks it up, throws to first in time, and finally the side is retired. But not before the Crawdads get 5 runs. They lead 5-0 as we head to the top of the second inning. Stompers will try to come back here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Welcome back to Danville. Crawdads erupted last half inning. They lead 5-0 as we begin the top of the second inning. Stompers went down 1-2-3 against Aiden White, who stays on the hill. It'll be 4-5-6 for Sonoma, starting out with Paul Lazul, the first baseman. Lazul homered yesterday against the Merchants, in which the Sonoma Stompers won in a low-scoring game, 3-1. Lefty-on-lefty matchup. White fires from the windup, in there for a strike. 85-mile-an-hour heater. White with 2 strikeouts so far in the game, both coming in the first inning. Looking for more and looking to lower his ERA. The 0-1. Breaking ball low and outside, taken for a ball, 1-1. Lazul out of Monterey Peninsula College. Struggled last year, hitting under the Mendoza line. He's been solid so far this year, hitting .276 with the Stompers. The 1-1, hit on the ground, foul to the right side. It'll be 1-2 on Lazul. Pretty much the everyday first baseman since late June, where he kind of got his start for the Stompers. Crawdads are no stranger to seeing him. White looks in as Lazul scales the back of the batter's box. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Slider low and outside, and make that 3 Ks in just 4 batters phase for Aiden White to start this game.
Kasey, he looks magnificent right there. Everything is swing and miss kind of stuff. The deception and the movement clearly in full force today.
Absolutely. 3 strikeouts to begin this game. He looks like he's due for a career game. I don't want to say anything too early. So that'll bring up Matthias Haas, the DH, hitting righty. 1 out here in the top of the second. White fires, fouled the other way on the ground, 1-1. Haas has a brother on the team as well. Plays over at Tulane. But Matthias hitless on the season in only 2 games as he starts at the DH spot today. Has a Kelly Green bat. The 0-1. High fastball taken for a ball, 1-1.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Kasey. He'd belong on the Crawdads. He'd fit in at least with that green bat. Add to the Crayola box that I made a metaphor about.
A lot of different color bats in this league. The 1-1. Fastball in there for a strike. 87 on the dot, low and inside. 1-2 as White searching for his 4th K of the day. Haas, one of the 5 righty hitters on this team, at least playing today. Stompers try to extend their win streak. White delivers the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Masterful stuff from Aiden White as the Amarillo College commit gets his 4th K in 5 batters faced. And he's looking unhittable right now, at least with the breaking ball, as he sits down another.
Both the slider and the curveball look really filthy from that nice arm slot of Aiden White. Even against these right-handed hitters, they're just out in front. They can't catch up.
So 2 straight strikeouts to start the top of the second inning as Pulowski digs in. First offering to him in there for a strike. Fastball right in the wheelhouse, 0-1. Connor Pulowski playing catcher, hitting .220 on the year. Will play at Bellarmine University next year. The 0-1. Hit on the ground sharply over to short. DeFazio picks it up, takes 2 steps toward first, and makes the throw for the 3rd out. So 4 strikeouts through 2 frames for Aiden White. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Crawdads with a firm 5-0 lead. Welcome back to the Creek. Crawdads lead 5-0 to start this bottom of the second inning. Crawdads poured on in the first, putting up 5 runs and having all 9 guys come to the dish. So it'll be the leadoff man, Trey Johnson, to lead off the second against Devin Laginto, who stays on the hill. 4 of his 5 runs given up are earned, as the righty pitcher deals to the lefty hitter Johnson. A little bit low, 1-0 on Trey. Back at the top of the order, we saw him as low as 8. But a guy that Coach Cummings likes at the top to set things going. The 1-0, fastball in there for a strike, outside corner. 1-1 on Trey Johnson. Native of Berkeley, playing at Skyline City College last year. The 1-1, hit the other way to short on the ground, and it eats up Boardman. That's his, if it's called an error, second error of the game on Boardman, as Trey Johnson cruises into first, and yet another base runner for the Crawdads. So it is an E6. Colton Boardman, who is one of the best hitters across both teams, has been a liability on defense, giving up 2 errors, and Trey Johnson's safe at first to start this bottom of the second inning with Brady Wilson set to come up.
Yeah, Boardman really struggling right now. He'll have to work it out. Usually, at least so far when we've seen him, he's been a pretty solid defender at short.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for him as Laginto goes to the stretch against the righty hitter Wilson. First pitch inside, 83-mile-an-hour changeup, 1-0. Johnson looming with a medium lead over at first. Saw him dancing around last inning when he got aboard. The 1-0, in there for a strike. Wilson takes on the outside corner, 1-1. Wilson in the first inning walked and later scored. As mentioned, the Crawdads erupted for 5 runs on 3 hits and 3 errors. Fastball high on the 1-1, 2-1 to Brady, who also pitches for the Crawdads every Friday. Be a rising junior after playing a handful of years at Sacramento City College. 2-1, in there for a strike, 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball. 2-2 on Wilson, who worked a good at-bat in the first. Laginto trying to just eat up some innings here as the starter. The 2-2. Outside, taken for a ball, 3-2 on Brady Wilson. The second time he's seen a 3-2 count today. Johnson over at first. Donnelly's next. Crawdads showing some force on this 4-game losing streak. The payoff pitch. In there, strike 3 called. 71-mile-an-hour breaking ball in the outside corner. And that's the second strikeout of the day for Devin Laginto.
That's a really nice pitch from Laginto. Stuns Wilson at the upper outside corner. Not a whole lot you can do as a batter.
No, sir. That brings up Joey Donnelly with 1 out, a man on first. Crawdads with a 5-0 advantage in the bottom of the second inning. Lefty hitter Donnelly against Laginto. First offering is roped to right center field. That one's going to drop. Trey Johnson rounding second. He'll stay there. Took a big turn, and it's a single for Joey Donnelly, his second of the game.
Joey Baggs striking early in this one. Casey had the homer yesterday, now 2 singles, flashing the power and the hit tool. He's perhaps one of the best hitters in the entire league, and it shows. Yeah,
these past few games, he's had the hits, but maybe not the same production he had earlier in the year, but he's just proving why he's one of the best hitters in the league. As that brings up John Ewens, who had an RBI double back in the first inning. He'll have a chance for another RBI with Trey Johnson on second and Joey Donnelly on first. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Crawdads now with 4 hits and 5 runs. Infield double play depth. Stompers trying to get out of this tough inning once more. Laginto's first offering from the stretch. In there for a strike to Ewens. Ewens, second most RBIs in the CCL North with 18. Guy that has a knack for finding the outfield grass. Laginto at the belt, the 0-1. In there for a strike, 74-mile-an-hour slider, and it's quickly 0-2 on John Ewens. Originally from Waco, Texas, playing for his hometown Baylor Bears. Crawdads, a team that likes to recruit a lot of guys from Texas, as we've seen over the years. The 0-2. Pitch a little bit low, 85-mile-an-hour heater. A good take from Ewens on the close pitch. 1-2 on him.
A nice frame from Pulaski. Almost gets called strike 3. It was real close.
Ewens, a true Texan, drives a truck. The 1-2. Hits softly on the ground over towards second. Likely will only get 1 out as Libby picks it up and throws to first. Both runners advance. There's 2 away here in the bottom of the second. Runners on second and third.
productive out for Ewens, and he really hustled down the line, tried to beat it out, but he moves the runners over and gives Clisby a second RBI opportunity today. Does exactly what he needs to.
So Johnson over at third, Donnelly at second. 2 away for Brandon Clisby, who walked back in the first and later scored. Clisby, New Mexico State. Played his high school ball here at Monte Vista, where he was one of their historically best players. So he lines the first pitch foul over the screen, 0-1. Clisby from Alamo, California, nestled right in between Danville and Walnut Creek. Righty hitter against the righty pitcher, Liginto, who struggled out the game. The 0-1, pitch outside, blocked in the dirt by Pulowski. 1-1 to Clisby. Has been very productive when he's played. More limited sample size just because he split duties with Zach Justice, but hitting a solid .296 on the season. Second and third, 2 out. Crawdads up 5-0. The 1 is outside, 2-1. Slider in the other batter's box. 2-1 on Clisby.
Crawdads perhaps getting the best of both worlds with their catcher platoon. Clisby, the offensive guy, Justice, a wizard defensively.
Clisby trying to be the offensive hero again. The 2-1 in the dirt outside once more. 3-1 on Clisby. Another threat to load the bases as Liginto struggling to find the strike zone. 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Crawdads had 5 runs last inning. Sonoma still without a hit, so their offense will be vying to come up after this inning and do some damage. The 3-1 off-speed pitch floats in for a strike on the outside corner. Count runs full on Clisby. His dad, Matt, played in the Canadian Football League for 1 season for a team that no longer exists. The payoff pitch fouled off to the right side, 3-2. And I'll be honest, the Birmingham Barracudas, I didn't know that existed until I found out that tidbit.
Wow, that's quite a deep pull, Casey.
You don't expect Birmingham and Canadian Football League to really go together, but there you go.
Indeed.
Be a payoff pitch coming up again to Clisby, the righty hitter. Liginto trying to get the punch out. Here it comes. Hit hard on the ground over to short. Boardman scoops, goes to first in time, and the side is retired. Crawdads leave 2 on. We'll go to the top of the third. Dad still up 5-0 here in Danville. Welcome back to the Creek as the Crawdads lead 5-0 to start the top of the third inning. Aiden White spotless so far. He's struck out 4 of the 6 batters he's faced, as he'll face 7, 8, 9 as Brady Shannon will dig in. Shannon, a guy we've talked about plenty of times on the broadcast. He's a 2-way guy playing football quarterback for Youngstown State as well as baseball. First offering from White is line foul to the right side, 0-1. Shannon, a righty hitter. Of course, White, the lefty, trying to increase his great outing so far. Shannon so far in the year hitting .226. Guy who uniquely plays both sports at Youngstown State. The 0-1. Pop up in shallow right field. Donnelly gets under it, makes the catch for out number 1. And Aiden White still facing the minimum so far, as that'll bring up Trent Keys, the left fielder. Guy who started at San Jose State, now at Los Medanos College. Lefty hitter against the lefty White, who against lefties so far this game has been very good. Every lefty Aiden White has faced, he struck out. First offering from White. Floats outside, breaking ball, outer corner, 1-0. Some action in the Stompers bullpen as Devin Laginto's day could be potentially done. He's given up 5 runs. The 1-0 from White. Fastball runs outside, 86 miles an hour. 2-0 on Trent Keys, who is one of the leaders in the league in hit by pitches, has 16 on the year, as well as 16 walks. He gets on base. The 2-0. Fastball just outside, 3-0 on Keys. Will likely take this upcoming pitch. Keys has struck out 17 times, but the walks and hit by pitches really make him a good asset at the bottom of the order. The 3-0. Fastball in there for a strike, outside corner. Get me over, says Aiden White. 3-1 to Keys, hitting 170 on the year. Isn't known for his hits, but again, gets on base, as Billy Bean would say. The 3-1. Change up just outside, and the first base runner for the Stompers is Trent Keys, who walks on 5 pitches here in the top of the 3rd inning.
To your credit, Casey, Keys enters day with a 482 OPS, or on-base percentage, excuse me. So really a guy who can wear it and force walks.
The 2002 Oakland A's would love that guy.
Indeed they would.
As Trent Keys is on first, 1 away in the top of the 3rd as the 9-hole Cam Hegeman digs in. Righty hitter fouls the first offering straight back, 0-1. Hegeman, no stranger to summer ball, played in the Northwoods League with Battle Creek last year. A Ohlone College guy in 2025, 352. Also made his Stompers debut earlier in the season against the Crawdads in Sonoma. Aiden White towing the first base side of the rubber, finally in the stretch. 1 out, the 0-1. Slider runs inside. 1-1 on Hegeman, with Trent Keys looming over at first. Keys has stolen 6 bases on 9 tries this year, could be in motion. 1-1, swing and a miss. Fooled him a bit on the 78-mile-an-hour slider low in the zone. 1-2 on White, who already has 4 strikeouts today. And just, of course, the 2 1/3 innings of work. White kicks and delivers the 1-2. Outside 80-mile-an-hour changeup, 2-2. Hegeman, definitely a guy to keep an eye on, as a guy who could make an NCAA program after next season if he keeps up the good production at JUCO. 2-2, just fouled straight back. Count stays at 2-2. Aiden White, of course, another Texan on this Crawdads team, returning closer to home after he just committed to Amarillo College. Play at Hodgetown, home of the Sod Poodles in AA. White looks in hard, the 2-2. High pitch, 86-mile-an-hour heater as Clisby has to go up and get it. 3-2 on Hegeman, who's worked a good at-bat here. White trying to avoid back-to-back walks, with Keys looming at first. The payoff pitch. Fastball runs outside. And in fact, he does walk back-to-back players as Keys goes to second. Hegeman now on first, and the lineup flips over with only 1 out. So the Crawdads up 5-0, but 2 runners on now for the Stompers. Their first 2 runners of the game on board, in fact. As Colton Boardman digs in. He's made 2 errors on defense and also struck out. So today he wants to right the ship on. 2 on, the first pitch to Boardman. Floats in for a strike, 77-mile-an-hour slider on the outer corner. 0-1. Boardman, a very disciplined hitter. Also has a lot of speed. Hitting 296 on the year. White looking over at second a couple times. Now fires home the 0-1. That one's hit high and deep out to right field. Looks like it's in the park as Donnelly collects. Runner tagging from second. Keys will get into third. And so it's a Fly out to right, but allows Keys to get to third, and there's runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Nice result there after 2 straight walks. Aiden White only allowed 2 walks in each of his last 2 appearances, Kasey. 2 of them today, though, but otherwise staying effective. He tries to get out of this 2-on jam.
Yeah, like you said, runners on the corners, 2 outs. White trying to get out of this inning without giving up any runs as Max Handren digs in for the second time. Was one of White's 4 strikeout victims. Lefty on lefty matchup. White has been very good against lefties this season. The first offering home. Slider outside 1-0. Handren, who mentioned, played at Cal, was a very good player for Cal in the 3 years he was at the school. Hit .265. Of course, a teammate of Joey Donnelly. The 1-0. In there for a strike, 87-mile-an-hour heater on the outside corner, 1-1. And Max Handren in 3 seasons with the Golden Bears, 90 career RBIs, 24 career home runs. Not a bad guy to have middle of the order. The 1-1. Line to center field. It'll drop in front of Trey Johnson. Keys comes around to score, and it's 5-1 with the runner advancing to second. First and second with 2 outs. RBI single there for Handren. So the Stompers are on the board after giving up 5 runs to start this game, and White finally giving up a hit.
Yeah, and his first earned run in his last 3 appearances now. Still magnificent work thus far. Got to try to retire 1 more here.
First and second, 2 outs. Now 5-1 Crawdads here in the top of the third, as that brings up McCann Libby, the righty hitter. First offering from White to him in there for a strike. 81-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Libby flied out to center field back in the first inning. Currently on a 4-game hitting streak, trying to extend it to 5. White collects the 0-1. Curveball, a lot of break on it, in there for a strike. 0-2 quickly on McCann Libby. Will be a rising junior at Louisiana Tech. Committed there last November after playing at Navarro College. Texan on Texan matchup here. The 0-2. Curveball again, but that time outside. Taken for a ball, 1-2.
The first few curveballs we've seen from Aiden White, it's mostly been the slider as the featured breaking ball. But I like him mixing in the hammer.
Libby, the only player on the Stompers with triple-digit at-bats. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Aiden White now with 5 strikeouts in 3 innings. He's done a great job. We'll go to the bottom of the third inning. Crawdads with a 5-1 lead here in Danville. Welcome back to Danville. Crawdads lead 5-1 as we start the bottom of the third inning. It's a new pitcher after Devin Laginto gave up 4 earned runs and 5 total. Cole Pacheco is the new hurler, 6'4", 237-pound righty. It's a bit of a slower delivery out of Indiana State, the Sycamores. This season with the Stompers, only 2 innings pitched, one of which came against the Crawdads. 0 ERA to this point, as the righty will face the middle of the Crawdads order, starting with Riley Leininger, who had a 2 RBI single earlier in the game. And he also scored a run, so he'll be up for the second time, trying to get another base hit. So Crawdads lead 5-1 in the bottom of the third. Lefty hitter, righty pitcher. Pacheco in for the sign, now fires. 84-mile-an-hour fastball low. 1-0 on Leininger. Guy who started the season off really hot, slowed down a bit, but has since gotten a few hits these last 2 games, including one today. The 1-0 pitch is roped to right field. Shannon chasing, and it's down for a base hit. It's going to get all the way to the wall. Leininger charging around first. He'll cruise into second, standing. And it's a leadoff double for Leininger, who now has 2 base hits on the day.
Not only 2 base hits, that's Leininger's first extra base hit of the entire season, Kasey. He's been waiting on one. He's had a couple just misses on home runs, finally gets a double there. Credit to the big man, he's turned it around.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a lot of extra base hit distances, we'll say, but again, a lot of snake-bitten contact. You know, of course, hitting it straight into the wind. So that'll bring up Chris Esquivel, who reached on an error earlier in the game. Has an RBI opportunity with Leininger over at second in the bottom of the third. Nobody out. Pacheco now in the stretch. First offering, low and outside, taken for a ball. 1-0 on Esquivel. One of the few Crawdads still in the transfer portal out of his former college, St. Mary's, as Noah Zirkle committed to Cal State East Bay yesterday. A lot of Crawdads started the season in the portal, but that number has gone down quite a bit. The 1-0 to Esquivel, jams it foul on the right side, and that looks like it broke his bat.
Yeah, you could hear it well in on the hands. That's a newer bat for Esquivel that he's kind of debuting, so a bit unfortunate for him. He has to probably buy another one at some point.
You and me were watching batting practice the other day, and we saw Esquivel break a bat. Guy is just unlucky with new wood.
Indeed. Well, he looked really good in batting practice today, though, Kasey. He hit at least 4 bombs out of the park. He's really flattened out the swing. He's got nice line drive contact. We'll see if he can get that in the game now.
So he'll wait on a 1-1 count as he grabs a new black bat. Takes a practice swing with it, giving Pacheco some time to recollect himself. Leininger over at second. Nobody out in the inning. Bottom of the third. Crawdads up 5-1 after allowing 1 last inning. Pacheco from the stretch. Checking over at second a few times. Now fires the 1-1, and he loses handle of it. It gets behind Esquivel on the breaking ball, allowing Leininger to cruise into third standing on the wild pitch. Esquivel, of course, no thought to swing there. So it's 2-1 on him. One was close to hitting him, but probably good it didn't. Allowed Leininger to advance and giving Esquivel a chance to get a hit.
Yeah, absolutely, and a relatively favorable count here, 2-1. You can look and try and drive something.
Infield comes in. All infielders nearly touching the green grass. The 2-1. Fastball right down the middle for a strike, 83 miles an hour. 2-2 on Esquivel. Spent his entire collegiate career in the West Coast Conference, starting out with the Toreros of San Diego. Didn't play much there his freshman year. Leininger at third, infield in, the 2-2, and that one hit him. Thought it might go behind him again, but he turns out of the way. And a 72-mile-an-hour breaking pitch nabs the back of Chris Esquivel. Runners on the corners with nobody out.
And Pacheco, not a whole lot of control on his curveball right now. It's left the hand extremely early the past 2 times he's gone to it. Nearly hits Esquivel the first time. Hits him right there, obviously. But the Crawdads will take it.
So the 8-hole man, Casey Levitt-McGee, comes in. He struck out in the first inning against Laginto. Pacheco now facing 2 batters. Gave up a double, of course, had the wild pitch and then the hit-by pitch. So a tough start to the game and only his 3rd appearance. So lefty hitter Levitt-McGee digs in, of course, with that bright yellow bat. Struck out earlier, as most Crawdads have reached today. He'll want to join the party. First offering, fastball runs outside, 1-0. Levitt McGee, a student of the game, big Giants fan. Guy who arrives to the ballpark early every game, always trying to get the extra work in. Pacheco fires, the runner goes to second. No throw as the catcher Pulowski can't handle it. It's a stolen base for Chris Esquivel, taking away the double play opportunity.
Once again, good aggressive base running for the Crawdads. Head coach Brent Cummings preaches that every day, and he lives it. He loves to send his guys. Now they're in a really big spot, 2 in scoring position.
So Esquivel now with 3 stolen bases on the year. Pitch was called a ball, so it's 2-0 on Casey Levitt McGee. Infield still playing in, which is a high-risk, high-reward situation. The 2-0. Fastball in there for a strike inside corner, 83 miles an hour. 2-1. Not a ton of velocity from Pacheco. Saw Aiden White's fastball touching 90. Pacheco more of a soft-tossing righty. Trying to get out of a game where the Stompers have let up a lot of base runners and a lot of runs so far. 2-1 pitch from the stretch is low. 3-1 to Casey Levitt McGee, who has very good discipline.
Excuse me, go ahead. In this 3-1 count now, action in the Stompers bullpen, Haroon Pelja warming.
3-1 on Levitt McGee. Guy who not afraid to just keep the bat on his shoulder as he gives a half swing to a pitch on the outside corner, called a strike. Full count on Levitt McGee. Steps out of the box and takes a practice hack. Leininger at third, Esquivel at second. They have the base open over at first. Nobody out in the bottom of the third. 5-1 Crawdads to this point. The payoff pitch from Pacheco. Runs outside, ball 4. 83-mile-an-hour fastball. Levitt McGee says, no, sir, as he trots to first. Pacheco still yet to record an out, facing 3 batters, and the bases are loaded. So Nico DeFazio digs in for the second time. The 9-hole hitter hit back in the first, grounded out to third when he came up. Righty facing Pacheco for the first time as Mike Nunez, the pitching coach, coming out, and it looks like he looked over to the bullpen. That might be the end of the line for Pacheco. So there is action, like you said, in the the Stompers bullpen.
I actually think this one probably just a conference right now, Casey. Pelja just got out there. He's starting his tosses. He hasn't thrown any full pitches yet.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Nunez, of course, not the guy to typically signal. That would be Zach Pace, but he looked over there, maybe just trying to see if Pelja was up and warming enough. But like you said, probably just a mound visit, giving the Crawdads a moment to talk things over, as well as the Stompers have all their infielders on the hill. So it'll be DeFazio, the shortstop, coming up. Guy who was a late add to the Crawdads roster. He's had hits in all but 1 game this year. Of course, a former player of Coach Brant Cummings, making his now 2nd stint with the Crawdads. One of 4 righty hitters in the order today. Infield in on the corners. Middle infield about double play depth. DeFazio standing in with the bases loaded and nobody out. Crawdads with a 5-1 lead, trying to increase it here. So the righty hitter DeFazio digs in. 0 for 1, grounded out to third. Pacheco trying to roll a pair here if he can. DeFazio waits from the stretch. First pitch low and outside, 1-0. DeFazio committed to Houston Christian. No stranger D1 ball. Started out at Pacific, then went to Chabot College. As the umpire calls time. Looks like a loose ball from the bullpen and out in left field.
Indeed. And also, Casey, something to note, Crawdads have switched up with the coaching head coach or assistant coach Derek Nicholson over at third from first. Brent Cummings goes to the dugout and Dustin Cheney over to first. Wonder what that's about. We'll have to inquire later.
Interesting to see. We haven't seen that this year. DeFazio waits on a 1-0 count after the ball is fished out of left. Pacheco looking in for the sign. Now from the stretch he delivers the 1-0. In there for a strike. 83-mile-an-hour heater on the outside corner. 1-1. DeFazio playing in his 6th game of the year. Has 5 total hits. .333 average. And originally from Oakland, one of 2 Crawdads from there. The 1-1. Line foul to the left side over toward the Stompers dugout. 1-2. DeFazio, career .250 hitter in summer ball. This is his 3rd summer league team. Of course, 2 years with the Crawdads, 1 year with the Rochester Honkers, and 1 year with the Delray Beach Lightning over in Florida. So a guy who's played all over the map, and he's going to go to Texas next year to play college ball. Pacheco agrees to the sign on the 1-2. DeFazio waving his bright red bat, reminiscent of the Crawdads colors. The 1-2, breaking ball floats outside. 2-2, 76-mile-an-hour slider. It's Levitt McGee over on first, Esquivel at second, Leininger over at third. Nobody out as this inning looking a lot like that first inning where the Crawdads tacked on 5. LGL warming up in the Stompers bullpen. Pacheco yet to record an out. DeFazio waits for the 2-2. Here it comes. He hits it over to third. Good play as he steps on third. Throw home. Not in time. Handren made a really nice play, ranging to his right. Stepped on the bag as soon as he picked up the ball. But the run does come around to score. So it's 6-1 Crawdads as they get the 1 out at third. And it's now runners on first and second with 1 out. So it's officially an out over at third unassisted, and then the attempt at the plate. But Leininger comes around to score. So it's Esquivel at third, Levitt McGee at second. Or check that, Esquivel at second, Levitt McGee at first. As the first pitch to Trey Johnson in there for a strike. He's 0 for 2, reached on an error and flied out to left. Trying to get his first hit of the ball game and join the party here in this 6-1 ball game. Crawdads retook a 5-run lead. So he hits one straight into the dirt, foul. He quickly 0-2. Pacheco likely feeling the weight lifted off his shoulders, getting the first out after giving up a double, hit by pitch, a walk. Had the wild pitch mixed in there as well. Looks in for the sign, trying to get the punch out on the 0-2. Brady Wilson will be next. The 0-2 from Pacheco. Fouled straight back to the screen. Crawdads trying to get back in the win column. They lost 4 in a row. Stompers have had opposite fortunes, moving up to first place in the CCL North. Oh, 0-2 on Trey Johnson, trying to protect the plate with 1 out as he hits one off the end of the bat, foul to the left side. Count stays 0-2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the third.
Exactly that there, Casey. Protect the plate. That breaking ball probably would have clipped the outer third, so he has to go out and get it. Fouls it away. Trying to look for a better one here.
Levitt McGee on second. DeFazio on first. 1 out in the inning with Trey Johnson trying to join the party. The 0-2. Curveball just a bit low. Try to get the low breaking ball stuff, and it's 1-2 on Trey. Another student of the game, a guy who said he grew up inspired by Josh Donaldson, third baseman for the Oakland A's at the time. Infield in a bit. The 1-2. Line sharply over to second, and it eats up Libby into right field for a base hit. Levitt McGee chugging around third. He's going to score. DeFazio into third. Johnson holds up at first. And it'll officially be ruled an E4 at second, as that's now the 4th error committed by the Stompers. And another run comes around. It's 7-1, Walnut Creek.
So Johnson a little bit snake bitten here, as he's been gypped at it. 2 hits, a couple of errors.
Brady Wilson digs in. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Johnson at first, DeFazio on third. Went out in the inning in a 7-1 ball game as the Crawdads fought back. Runner goes to second. The throw on the money in time. Johnson gunned down by Pulowski, who read that like a book, and there's 2 away. DeFazio did not make an attempt at third to try to go home on the throw. Pulowski showed his cannon. Now a much easier situation for Pacheco. Runner on third with 2 outs. Pitch was called a ball on Brady Wilson, so the 1-0. In there for a strike. Curveball around the knees, 1-1. Wilson yet to make contact today, walked and struck out. Guy who normally pitches, but seen just over 20 at-bats on the year. If he can continue the inning, Donnelly would be next. The 1-1. Breaking ball in there for a strike, 1-2. Guy out of Sacramento. Knew a lot of the players on the California Tigers as he was a former Cal Tiger himself. Team Crawdads lost to a couple days ago. DeFazio looms at third. 1-2 from Pacheco. Runs outside. It's going to get to the backstop. DeFazio trots in on the wild pitch, and it's 8-1 Crawdads. It's now 3 runs in this inning for the Crawdads after they gave 1 up last inning. Offensive showcase for Walnut Creek, a team that struggled to score early. Now 2-2 on Wilson. Steps out for a moment, now back in the bunks. Good base running from the Crawdads, especially after Johnson gunned down at second. They're not afraid to be on the move. The 2-2. Hit on the ground, foul to the left side, just to the left of that third base line. Wilson on the guy who typically hits in the second spot. He gets the spot there today, as we've seen head coach Brent Cummings experiment a bit these past few weeks, especially amid a losing streak. Have to move things around sometimes. 2-2 on Wilson with 2 outs. As the curveball runs inside, he flips out of the way, but it did not hit him. 3-2. Wilson's dad played for the Pittsburgh Pirates just for 1 season in 1995. Gary Wilson. Brady Wilson committed to Pacific last November as Pacheco steps off upon the 3-2 pitch. A couple of arms up and warming in the Stompers bullpen. Team the Crawdads have played a handful of times as of late. The payoff pitch. Hit again, foul to the left side. We'll do 3-2 again as Wilson working a good plate appearance after striking out last inning. Guy that is capable of playing third base, of course, at the DH spot today. Pacheco towing the first base side of the rubber from the windup, the 3-2. That one's hit high up in the air, straightaway center field. Hegeman under it, steps back to make the catch, and the side is retired. So the Crawdads get 3 more runs, take advantage of some defensive miscues. We'll go to the top of the 4th inning, 8-1 Walnut Creek. Welcome back to the Creek. Walnut Creek Crawdads up 8-1. Aiden White still on the hill. Set to begin this top of the 4th inning. White's done a great job so far. Gave up the 1 run, but he struck out 4. As he'll try to get through some more innings of work as the Crawdads put up 3 insurance runs to extend the cushion a bit for White. They lead 8-1. The cleanup man Lazul stands in. He takes the ball outside. He struck out back in the 2nd inning. Of course, one of 4 strikeout victims in the first 2 innings for Aiden White. I'll wait on a 1-0 as White puts the glove up, lingers at the mound, now fires home. Fastball outside, 2-0. And White, despite getting plenty of strikeouts, has not really won the beginning of at-bats. He's pitched a couple 2-0, 3-0 counts, but he's found ways to recover. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball lined foul to the left side, out of play. 2-1.
And that's exactly what you're talking about, Casey. He starts out 2-0, then induces either a nice strike call or a foul ball goes in his favor. He's able to really recover well and get some putouts.
Lazul waits on the 2-1. He homered yesterday. As the pitch runs inside, fastball nearly clipped his kneecap. 3-1 on Lazul. That home run was his 2nd of the year. Also homered against the Crawdads earlier in this year. 3-1 pitch from White. Floats in for a strike. Lazul was about to toss the bat, but umpire says no. Count runs full with nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Crawdads with an 8-1 cushion. But defense has been the liability for the Stompers. They have 4 errors. The payoff from White from the windup. Laced over to second, into the glove of Esquivel. He picks it up, throws to first in time. Textbook defense from Chris Esquivel. Laying out for the grab, throwing to first, and taking away a base hit from Lazul.
Wow. Chris Esquivel is just such a wonderful defensive second baseman. We've seen it all year, Casey. Flashes the leather once again there. Man, that was nice.
So 1 out in the inning as Lazul hit that one hard, straight to second. As Matthias Haas digs in, he struck out back in the 2nd inning himself. Still yet to have a hit this year. Albeit a smaller sample size. So the righty hitter digs in against the lefty White, who fires a fastball outside, 1-0. Haas has only also been on base once. He walked earlier in the season. That's all he's been able to get. The 1-0 from White. Floats in for a strike, 77-mile-an-hour breaking ball, 1-1. White trying to impress his newly college coaches over at Amarillo. The 1-1 curveball hit straight up the middle, now over towards short. DeFazio picks it up and can't handle it. It'll be ruled a hit for Matthias Haas. That's his first hit of the year, as that one was hit softly up the middle, and DeFazio, the shortstop, ranged toward, just couldn't make the play. So that's only the 2nd hit of the game for the Stompers as Haas makes his way to first. And that'll bring up Connor Pulowski, who grounded out to short back in the 2nd inning, his only plate appearance. And on first, 1 out in the inning. Here in the top of the 4th, the offering to the righty hitter, in there for a strike, 0-1. Breaking ball outside corner. Pulowski has been good on defense in a day where Stompers have struggled. He gunned down Trey Johnson trying to steal second. Connor from San Jose originally. The 0-1. Fastball in there for a strike. Quickly 0-2. Pulowski, one of 5 righty hitters in the order today. Hit 130 at Bellarmine University last year. Went to Pioneer High School. Bit of a lead over at first for Haas. The 0-2. Breaking ball outside, back pick over to first. And he's back safely. Pitch was called the ball, so it's 1-2 on Connor Pulowski. Started out at Chico State, somewhat local. Infield double play depth, the 1-2. Breaking ball just outside, taken 2-2. Pulowski, 4 years of varsity baseball at Pioneer, career .280 hitter. Career 3 homers there. Count even at 2-2 from the stretch. White fires inside and low. 3-2 on the 79-mile-an-hour pitch inside. Haas over at first. taking a pretty liberal lead over there at first. His first time being on base this year. The runner goes, the 3-2, swung on and missed. The throw, not in time. So the runner steals second as Haas slides in. But in the meantime, Aiden White with his 6th strikeout of the game.
Really nice stuff from Aiden White. He looks really good still, even though he allowed the single to Haas. He's recovering.
So Pulowski down on strikes, 2 outs in the inning, as that brings up Brady Shannon, who flied out to right in his only timeout. Shannon with bright red gloves, and his yellow bat. White fires to the righty hitter, and he lines one out to left center field. Trey Johnson chasing, and it's going to get down and all the way to the wall. Haas scoring easily from second, and the runner in safely over at second is Shannon on the double, and it's 8-2.
That's just a really great piece of hitting from Brady Shannon. He laces it into the warning track in left center field. Johnson couldn't get there in time. Not like he really had a chance. It was just so well hit.
So the Stompers scoring in each of the 3rd and 4th innings now, but they still trail by 6. As Shannon's over at second with 2 away, and that brings up Trent Keys, who walked and scored last inning against Aiden White. Still has 6 strikeouts on the day, even though he's given up 2. First offering low and outside. 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball, 1-0. Talked about Keys being an on-base machine. Proved that last inning, taking what he could get on the base paths as well and scoring in what was the first run of the game for the Stompers. White looks at second, now from the stretch fires home. Fastball 87 miles an hour outside. 2 balls, no strikes on Trent Keys. Lefty hitter out of Los Medanos, started at San Jose State but didn't play there. Went the route of now playing at JUCO, trying to find another program. 2-0, in there for a strike. 85-mile-an-hour fastball that Keys looked like he wanted to swing at but didn't. 2-1 as there's action in the Crawdads bullpen. Nino and Storiahan up and warming. White, the 2-1, outside. 87-mile-an-hour fastball yet again. That's been pretty much where his fastball has sat the entire game. As it's a 3-1 count on Keys. Guy who loves taking walks. Man on second is Shannon with 2 out in this 8-2 ball game in the top of the 4th. The 3-1 hits straight up the middle, past White. Second baseman Esquivel ranging, finds it, throws to first, and it gets all the way back to the dugout. Shannon will score, and Keys taking a wide turn. He'll get to second, and it's 8-3 Crawdads. So Keys reaches, and the run scores. So that's now 2 across in the inning for Sonoma, trying to cut into this deficit as they trail 8-3. Aiden White started out very well, just struggled with Stompers putting the ball in play a bit more these past few innings. Esquivel made a really good defensive play earlier in the inning, but just couldn't quite get a second on that one.
And even if the throw was on target, Casey, I don't know if it would have been in time, as Keys really showcased the speed, legged it out there.
Yeah, it was a tough play for Esquivel, having to range to his right and make the throw on the run. So that'll bring up Cam Hegeman, who walked back in the 3rd. Only 2 walks so far for White as the first pitch inside, 1-0. Hegeman in center field today. Guy who's been up and down the order this year. After an electric season at Ohlone. 1-0, fouled straight back, 1-1. Boardman would be next if the Stompers can extend this inning. Hitting hasn't been all too terrible this game, but the defense and the pitching has been the problem. Shannon looming at second. 1-1. White fires foul off to the right. Now 1-2 count on Hegeman, the righty hitter. Last year in summer ball, only played in 13 games with Battle Creek. Had 5 hits and 5 runs, 1 extra base hit. White looks at second, the 1-2. Breaking ball outside and low, 2-2. White just trying to get out of the inning, get his guys hitting. Crawdads have had runs in all but one of the innings so far, 8 total. White comes set, now the 2-2. Hit sharply on the ground, over towards short. DeFazio collects head high, throws to first in time, and that'll retire the side. Crawdads allow 2 runs to come across, but that's all. They lead 8-3 as we head to the bottom of the 4th here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Welcome back to Walnut Creek. The Crawdads lead 8-3 as we begin the bottom of the 4th inning. Crawdads allowed 2 runs last inning, but of course still have the 5-run cushion as it's the new pitcher, Haroon Pelja, the right-hander for Sonoma as he finishes up warm-ups. Another guy from Youngstown State. They have 2 Youngstown State guys on their roster. Pelja seen the Crawdads before this year as Joey Donnelly will be up first. And the Crawdads will have a hitter that we haven't seen yet, Ryan Ellis, in the on-deck circle. He came in as a defensive replacement last inning, but Joey Donnelly will hit first here to begin the bottom of the 4th inning against Haroon Pelja for the first time. Pelja a righty, Donnelly a lefty. Joey's been good today. 2 base hits, both singles and a run. First offering to him, fastball in the dirt, 86 miles an hour, 1-0. Donnelly, home run yesterday. That was his 2nd of the year in a league that doesn't have a whole lot of big flies. His 2 home runs are climbing up the leaderboard. The 1-0 to Donnelly as he hits one to shallow right center field. Libby and Shannon chasing. It's going to drop in between second baseman, Libby and Shannon's glove as Donnelly's aboard with his 3rd single of the game. He's 3 for 3.
And just as Donnelly's average creeping closer to 400, he's starting to charge it back up towards 500 where it once was at this season.
Yeah, Donnelly has just been that one really consistent force as Ryan Ellis will hit for the first time. Did not start this game, but came in for John Ewens. Bunch of movement last inning on defense. Ellis, lefty hitting left fielder. His red bat getting his first plate appearance of the day with Donnelly over at first. Pelja looking in. Ellis sitting mid-200s, trying to up his average, takes the ball outside, 1-0. Ellis, a guy who has a lot of power for a guy with a smaller frame. Trying to find another school out of the transfer portal. One of a few Crawdads still without a program attached to their name. The 1-0. In there for a strike, 72-mile-an-hour changeup on the outside corner. 1-1. Ellis started at St. Mary's and went to UT Arlington. He's had a string of good performances these past 2 games. The 1-1. Fouled straight back above the press box. 1-2 on Ellis as Pelja, the third pitcher of the day for the Stompers. They've given up 8 runs. They have 4 errors on defense as well. It's just been a tough day defensively for Sonoma. It's led to a lot of this Crawdads offense. 1-2 on Ellis with Donnelly over at first, who jumps around with a medium lead. Pelja throws back to first. Donnelly back in safely. Ellis earlier this season banged up his knee a little bit. He's been wearing a brace. It hasn't been detrimental enough to prevent him from playing defense. He's able to run well as well. The 1-2. Popped up left side in foul territory. The third baseman, Handren, can't glove it as it falls. And the count stays at 1-2.
Tough play over there for Handren. And like you noted, Casey, that injury for Ellis occurred at the College of San Mateo, first time the Crawdads played the Legends, and notably Ellis played DH yesterday on that turf field. They didn't want to risk him re-aggravating it.
Crawdads, one of a few teams in this league with a grass field. Menlo does not have one. Saw earlier in the year, Chabot College did not have one, where the Crawdads had to play a few games to start the season. It's kind of a mixed review on this team. Back over to first. Donnelly back in safely again. Ellis in his 3rd year with the Crawdads. Also played in the Northwoods League in 2021. He's bounced around quite a bit, whether it be at the collegiate or summer ball level. 1-2 on the lefty hitter with Donnelly over at first. Still dancing around with the lead. Swing and a miss. Ellis down on strikes as he's out in front of the breaking ball. And that's the first strikeout of the day for Pelja, and there's 1 out. So that'll bring up Brandon Clisby, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Crawdads with an 8-3 cushion. Clisby 0 for 1, walked and grounded out to short. One of 3 catchers on the Crawdads team. First offering in there for a strike. Breaking ball around the knees, 0-1. Crawdads had a few Monte Vista players entering this year. Dylan Hillman suffered an injury. He's not played since. Clisby one of them still, though. Pitch outside to him on the 1-1 offering. Excuse me, now 1-1. Clisby, one of the younger guys on the Crawdads, though. A lot of speed for a catcher, as we've seen this year. Pelja, towing the third base side of the rubber, fires as it's hit high and foul out of the play on the right side. 1-2. Talked to head coach Brant Cummings before the season started. Had really high expectations for Brandon Clisby, a guy he'd been paying attention to out of high school, and it's fair to say he's probably met those expectations, hitting near 300 in 14 appearances. Throw over to first again from Pelja. Donnelly back in safely without a slide. Clisby was the EBAL Offensive Player of the Year at Monte Vista. Hit .522 his senior year with the Mustangs with 18 RBIs. The 1-2 to the catcher. Swing and a miss. Fooled him on the inside breaking ball, and Clisby just had to hack at it. Back-to-back Ks for Pelja, now 2 out with a man on first in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, Pelja's been nasty in his relief appearance so far. 3 batters faced, 2 sent down via the K.
Good stuff out of the pen after they gave up 8 runs earlier in the game. As that brings up Riley Leininger, who's had a great game so far. 2 runs scored on 2 base hits, 1 double, 1 single, and 2 RBIs. First offering him in there for a strike, fastball around the knees, 0-1. Leininger still in the transfer portal out of Oklahoma, but still has all of his eligibility left after not playing at Oklahoma's first year. First offering in the dirt, back pick over to first. Donnelly, close play, but he slides back in safely. Leininger's picked up things lately, had 4 hits in the Seagulls series just about a week ago. Didn't hit too much at slow, but again today has 2 hits against a very good Stompers team. Lefty hitter waits from the righty as he gives a half swing. did not go, they said. 2-1 as the pitch was low. Leininger, a big frame for a younger guy as well. 6'2", 225 pounds. Guy who can really unleash on balls, as we saw him hit the double earlier. Pelcha waits from the stretch. Leininger scaling the back of the box. The 2-1 hit the other way, foul left side. Count now even at 2-2. Leininger, talk about snake bitten. A guy who's hitting the 4 errors this year, only has the 1 extra base hit, and has had a lot of balls to the outfield killed by the wind. It's honestly a running joke at this point in the dugout. How many times Riley has been able to unleash on one and have it fall into a glove. Donnelly at first, the 2-2 runs inside. 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball. 3-2 on Riley. Has his Oklahoma batting glove still, although he is in the transfer portal. Esquivel would be next. Pelcha trying to get 3 strikeouts in a row. 3-2 on Leininger. Nods to the sign. Now the payoff. Runner goes as this one's blasted out to right center field. Hegeman chasing. It's not going to get to it. Bounces on the warning track. Donnelly getting around third. He's going to score. And Leininger into third, and he's safe with a triple. He has a single, a double, and a triple through 3 at-bats this game, as he just slides into third safely, and the Crawdads lead 9-3.
Wow, what a magnificent piece of hitting for Riley. Leininger just blasts it into right center field, maybe 10 feet from a home run there, and then legs out a triple too. Wow, have himself a day.
Crawdads have done a good job responding so far. Every time the Stompers have scored, the Crawdads have done so as well. As that brings up Chris Esquivel. Hit by a pitch and reached on an error. 2 outs, Leininger at third. First pitch to him in there for a strike. Heater around the knees, 0-1. Esquivel's been good defensively for the Crawdads today as well. Does have the error, but it was a tough play to make. The 0-1, it's softly foul, just in front of home plate. Quickly 0-2 on Esquivel, playing his 3rd summer ball season with his 3rd unique team as well. Leininger over at third, just a home run shy of the cycle. He'll have some more chances to do so, as Esquivel taps one over to third. Handren picks it up, throws to first in time, and that'll retire the side. Crawdads get another run. They lead 9-3. We'll go to the top of the 5th. Walnut Creek trying to hold on. Crawdads trying to hold their lead. They lead by 6 as we begin the top of the 5th inning. Some changes for the Crawdads. Ellis in left field. Levitt McGee in center, Cam Taylor in right, and then Joey Donnelly, who was previously in right field, moves to first base. So Trey Johnson's day is done. As the new pitcher is Nathan Nino, the right-hander, who has been very good lately. Had a good start, which was his first start last week. His first pitch inside to the leadoff man, Colton Boardman. Lefty hitter against the righty pitcher, Nino. Boardman 0 for 2 today, struck out and flied out to right. The 1-0, line foul behind us, 1-1. Nino with a bit of a deceptive windup. Comes down slowly with the deceptive leg kick. Boardman with a dark bat, as the 1-1 pitch in there for a strike, swinging strike. 1-2 on Boardman. Boardman just reached the 100 at-bat mark today. Second player on the Stompers to do so. He's been a consistent player in the lineup. The 1-2, just a bit low. Breaking ball low in the zone. Outside the zone, rather. 2-2. Boardman over at Cal State Northridge, originally from Las Vegas. Trying to find his first hit. The 2-2, low again. Count runs full. Nino out of University of the Pacific, relieving Aiden White. We got through 4 frames, giving up 3 runs, 1 unearned. The payoff pitch, chopped over to second base. Esquivel finds the high hop, throws to Donnelly at first in time for the first out. So Boardman, best hitter in the lineup today for the Stompers, 0 for 3. There's 1 out in the top of the 5th inning. Then I'll bring up Max Handren. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a strikeout. Another lefty hitter in the order as the Stompers try to work back from this deficit down 6. The Crawdads will be off tomorrow, and they'll be back in action against the Stompers this coming weekend. First offering in there for a strike, 90-mile-an-hour fastball, outer corner, 0-1. Handren has a higher average than Boardman, but much less playing time. Getting 353 though. Nino from the windup, the 0-1. Just outside, 83-mile-an-hour changeup, 1-1. Handren 1 homer this year, hit it against the Seagulls 2 games ago in what was an 18-2 win. 1-1 in there for a strike, 90 again on the outside corner, 1-2.
Yeah, despite that kind of slower delivery from Nino, he has a real heat on the fastball. He's touched 93 this season.
The 1-2. Curveball just outside, 2-2. Handren's played in 8 games so far for the Stompers. They've only lost 2 of the games he's played in. So he's been a good constant over at the hot corner for the Stompers in those games they've won. Nino takes a shrug. Now the 2-2 delivery. Hit high up in the air, left field. Ellis chasing back, and he'll make the catch. Not a cloud in the sky, a little bit tough to find. But he goes up and grabs it, and that's a second out of the top of the 5th.
And can't underscore how athletic of a play that was from Ellis, contorting his body to get the snag there. That was a tough play.
So that'll bring up McCann Libby with 2 outs in the top of the 5th in this 9-3 ball game. Crawdads with 7 hits. Stompers with 4. They've committed 5 errors. First offering to Libby from Nino. In there for a strike. 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Libby 0 for 2, struck out and flied out. As the Stompers need a rally here in the middle innings to come back in this game. Nino's 0-1 from the windup outside. Goes back to the breaking ball, high 70s, 1-1. Libby playing at Louisiana Tech. Started at Navarro College. Played a lot this year for the Stompers. The 1-1. Fastball runs inside, 89 miles an hour. 2-1. Libby on a 4-game hitting streak. He's had 5 hits in his last 3 games. 2-1. In there for a strike, 75-mile-an-hour changeup. Count goes even at 2-2 with 2 away. If he can get on base, Lazul would be next. Nino looking good out of the pen. He agrees to the sign, towing the first base side of the rubber. Now the 2-2 pitch. Fastball just outside. That time 91, his fastest pitch of the day so far. Count runs full on McCann Libby. Yet to reach base today. From the windup, the 3-2 just high. Ball 4 on the fastball. So it's a 2-out walk for the Stompers and McCann Libby. So he trots over to first base, and that brings up Paul Lazul. So another lefty hitter in the lineup. He's also for 2, struck out and grounded out. So Nino will go to the stretch for the first time. Righty on lefty matchup. McCann Libby over at first. So he fouls one straight back. Lazul does, 0-1. Crawdads have scored in all but 1 inning so far. Stompers have scored in the last 2 innings, but not yet here in the top of the 5th. Nino on the 0-1 at the belt. Kicks and deals. Inside and low. Good block by Clisby to prevent that one from getting to the backstop. Count even at 1-1.
Yeah, as much as we credit Zach Justice for being perhaps the best defensive catcher for Walnut Creek, Clisby right up there with him. Does a really nice job blocking pass balls, calling the game from back there. He's really good there.
1-1 on Lazul out of Monterey Peninsula College, originally from Oak Park here in California. You know, at the belt again, the 1-1. Chopped foul to the right side. It'll be 1-2. Crawdads with some defensive changes, like we mentioned. It'll be interesting to see how that shapes out. Team that's been accustomed to good defense so far this year. Nino looking for the punch out. Man on first. 2 away in the inning in the top of the 5th, and a 9-3 ball game in favor of Walnut Creek. Nino comes set, the 1-2. Blasted to straightaway center field. Levitt McGee going back at the wall, and it's off of his glove. Libby coming around to score, and Lazul into second. So it's a big hit here with 2 outs as Libby comes around, and Lazul, his first RBI knock of the day.
And man, Casey, that was absolutely mashed to dead center field. Nino tried to get him to bite on the heater. He did, but didn't count on the velocity taking it all the way back to the wall.
It's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So Libby scores. It's 9-4 now. Stompers not really going away. They do trail by 5, but they've inched their way back a bit. So Lazul at second. Haas at the dish. First offer into the righty hitter, foul to the left side, 0-1. Haas singled in the 4th. He struck out in the second, excuse me. Also stole second base when he got aboard in the 4th. Nino looking in for the sign. Bit of a lead over at second. The 0-1, half swing, peel over. The umpire said, "Who, me? I have to make the call?" It is a strike, 0-2.
It's definitely clear that Haas went around.
Nino's 0-2 pitch. Line the other way out to right field. That one's going to drop for a base hit. Into the right field corner. Lazul scores, and it's a stand-up double for Matias Haas. Back-to-back doubles for Sonoma. Now 9-5.
Casey, that ball was really well struck. Nino tried to get a put away on the slider there, and Haas just takes it the other way as a right-handed batter goes up in the zone, completely barrels it. I mean, whew, that had some heat.
Nino got the first 2 outs pretty easily, but since then it's been a walk and 2 doubles. So that brings up the righty hitter Connor Pulowski with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Stompers now up to 6 hits on the day, just 1 behind the Crawdads. They're trying to inch their way back as they've scored 5 runs these last 3 innings, Sonoma has. First offering to Pulowski in there, high, 1-0 on the fastball, 90 miles an hour. Pulowski 0 for 2, grounded out and struck out. Crawdads bullpen will need to hold things down to contain the Stompers offense. The 1-0, hit the other way, foul, out of play, 1-1. Pulowski, a really solid defensive catcher in this league. Has the offense to complement it quite a bit. It's 2 extra base hits on the year. 12 walks, 15 RBIs. The 1-1 with a runner on second. Breaking ball blocked by Clisby outside. 2-1. Offensive jam-packed game so far. Crawdads with the lead. Had that 5-run first. Actually came out to an 8-1 lead. But since then, Sonoma has crawled back quite a bit. It's 9-5. Plenty of baseball left to go. Looking over at second now, the 2-1. Inside and tight on Pulowski. 3-1. Nobody up and warming right now for the Crawdads. We previously saw Peter Storjahan warming up earlier. But nobody up right now after Nino came in to start this inning. 3-1 on Pulowski, the righty hitter. He skies one out of play, foul. Count runs full into the trees. Big pitch coming up for Nino. Man on second, 2 outs. Already 2 across in the inning here in the top of the 5th. Crawdads trying to snap their 4-game losing streak today. Sonoma trying to increase their cushion at first. Nino's 3-2 from the stretch is outside, ball 4. 90-mile-an-hour fastball off the outer corner. Clisby tried to frame it. It's a second walk given up by Nathan Nino, and there's runners on first and second with 2 outs. So Brady Shannon will be next, but before then, Brandon Clisby meeting with his righty Nathan Nino. Trying to get him settled back in after getting the first 2 outs on a grounded over to second and a fly out to left. But since then, walk, double, double, walk. 2 runs scoring. And Brady Shannon set to come up, who doubled earlier in the game off Aiden White. Pitching coach Dustin Cheney will join Clisby and Nino on the hill. Trying to get his guys settled in and keep this lead in check. Stompers won yesterday in a slow game offensively, won 3-1 against Alameda in a game that didn't see any scoring until the 5th inning. But the Stompers were able to get the edge and eventually win that game to move up to first place in the CCL North. They're currently on a 3-game winning streak, but the hottest team in the CCL North right now is the Blues on a 5-game winning streak. Brady Shannon digs in. 1 for 2. RBI double on the flyout. Runners at first and second with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. First offering, he loses handle of it, and it touches the back. Brady Shannon, 73-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Nino lost control, and that loads the bases.
It's becoming a really tough outing for Nathan Nino all of a sudden, Casey. He's got to just throw a couple fastballs over the heart of the plate and allow some weak contact. Try to get out of this one.
That'll bring up Trent Keys. He's 0 for 1. Reached on an error and walked. Also scored. Bases loaded. 1 swing would tie up this game potentially if it cleared the fences. 9-5 ball game. Lefty hitter against the righty pitcher Nino, who struggled. Fastball outside, 1-0 on Keys. A guy who typically waits for his pitch. It's Haas over at third, Pulowski at second, and Shannon at first. All with short to medium leads. The 1-0, as that one's laced to left field, right to Ryan Ellis. He goes up and makes the catch, finally retiring the side. So the Stompers get 2 runs. They also leave 3 on. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Crawdads lead 9-5.
1. Welcome back to the Crawdads streaming network for the bottom of the 5th. Walnut Creek leads 9-5 here on the Sonoma Stompers. 8-9-1 due up for the Crawdads. Case 11 McGee, Nico DeFazio, and Cam Taylor, who's replacing Trey Johnson, will all face Haroon Pelja in his second inning of work. Has allowed 1 run on 2 hits so far. Stranded a base runner. Righty Pelja against the lefty Levin McGee, who's 0 for 1 day with a walk and a strikeout. First offering to the lefty center fielder, driven into left center field. Hegeman ranging over to his left, makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out for Pelja here in the bottom of the 5th. Stompers have had a rough go at it from the pitching perspective. About 8 runs in the first couple innings. Another one later on, but they've managed to claw back 5 of them as the righty DeFazio steps in, playing shortstop. First offering in there for a strike on the outer third, 0-1. Nice pitch from the Youngstown State man. Pelja making his 7th appearance on the season, 1.28 ERA in 21 innings pitched. The 0-1 to DeFazio bounces outside, 1-1. DeFazio, a guy for the Crawdads who joined the team not too long ago. June 27th was his 2025 debut. Currently 0 for 2 today. Ground out and reached on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd, which drove in a run. The 1-1 from Pelja. Runs back and fouls off of DeFazio's bat. That is an unlucky break. Really wild pitch there, and Pelja gets away with one. So instead of being 2-1, it's 1-2 to DeFazio. Recent Houston Christian commit. Trying to protect the plate now, 2 strikes. The 1-2 comes home. Swing a ground ball over to third. Handren collects the throw to first. In time, pulls Lazul slightly off the bag, but doesn't matter too all much. 2 5-3 groundouts on the day for DeFazio. Lineup turns over, it's Cam Taylor up. Taylor replacing Trey Johnson, who was pulled in the last half inning, defensively at least. Taylor, a guy who's been pretty good for Walnut Creek. Taking his first at-bat of the day here.
You hear about it? Yeah.
Taylor, 208 hitter this season. Had a couple of RBIs yesterday. First pitch to the lefty, fastball well upstairs, 1-0. Taylor, born 30 minutes outside of Atlanta, Georgia, making his first foray into the West Coast to play collegiate ball here. The 1-0 to him. Fastball below the knees, 2-0.
But Leland Fun know the whole story because he was cleared from all that stuff last year.
Taylor officially went 1 for 4 yesterday, had 2 runs batted in on a single and a couple sac flies.
They say Max might be going to Mercedes.
Pelja kicks and deals the 2-0. Fastball inside to Taylor. 3 balls and no strikes. Crawdads trying to work a 2-out rally here in the bottom of the 5th. Brady Wilson, the designated hitter, up next.
I wish, yeah.
Pelja at the belt. The 3-0. Get me over fastball on the outer third. 3 balls and 1 strike to Taylor.
No, just Vegas and Miami.
Taylor, a guy, one of the few left in the transfer portal for Walnut Creek. Played this spring at Eastern Kentucky. The 3-1. Another fastball on the outer third, called strike 2. Taylor thought it was ball 4. Instead, he's got to step back in there for the payoff. 6'2", 220-pound lefty readies. Pelja would love a 1-2-3 inning here. The righty deals the payoff. Swing a ground ball up the middle, base hit for Cam Taylor. So now Taylor hits in 2 straight games and Brings up Brady Wilson with a man aboard. Crawdads trying to tack on some more, up by 4. Wilson 0 for 2 today, a walk, a strikeout, and a flyout. Guy who typically plays 2 ways for Walnut Creek has pitched more than he's hit. Started at designated hitter today, looking for his first one in a couple games. First offering to Wilson, fastball inside, 1-0. Wilson spent 2 seasons at Sacramento City College. This spring he hit .256 in 28 games there, 10 ribbies. Transferring to the University of the Pacific in just a month. 1-0 breaking ball outside below the knees. 2 balls and no strikes on Wilson. Entered today hitting .222 in 6 games. That's 4 hits on the year, one of them a grand slam, which came back in a appearance against the San Francisco Seagulls. The 2-0 from Pelja, grounded in foul territory on the third base side. 1-1. 2-1, excuse me. Wilson prefers playing third base and hitting more than he does pitching, but good at both, so his collegiate coaches have utilized him in both aspects. Taylor, a healthy lead at first. The 2-1 to Wilson, breaking ball inside, 3-1. Wilson last appeared on the mound on Saturday for Walnut Creek, had a scoreless 1 inning. Strikeout there as well. Made 4 starts, 5 appearances total. The 3-1 to Wilson, ball 4 outside. Cam Taylor caught stealing over at second. Tough way to end the bottom of the 5th for Walnut Creek, as Wilson would have been able to take the base. Instead, we'll head to the top of the 6th inning, see if the Stompers can cut into the 4 deficit right after this. We're live for the top of the 6th here in the Creek. Crawdads up by 4 against the Sonoma Stompers. 9-1-2 due up for Sonoma. Trying to cut into this 4-run deficit. Nathan Nino in his 2nd inning of work now for Walnut Creek. Nino allowed 2 runs on 2 hits. Did strand the bases loaded in the top of the 5th. Relieving Aiden White, who had a very nice 4 innings of work. First offering to Hegeman, the first batter of this inning. Bunt attempt, grounded foul on the third base side, 0-1. White, only 3 hits allowed on his day, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. 3 runs total, 2 of them earned. Now Nino, who has had 2 scoreless outings entering today, has allowed 2 already, trying to hold it there. The 0-1 to Hegeman. In there for a strike, 0-2.
Yeah, I was down in the dugout talking to some of the guys, and they're praising Aiden White a lot, a guy who's been so consistent this year.
The 0-2 from Nathan Nino, swing and a miss. 92-mile-an-hour heater on the outside.
Nino has some of the best velocity on this team, as we've seen so far. Crawdads have a lot of guys who can throw flames, and again, that's a nice pitch with a lot of movement on the outside corner.
Recovering rather well there. Now he'll face the top of the order for the first time the second time today, had Colton Boardman ground out in the shortstop's first at bat, against Nino. First offering to the lefty, fouled back on the 90-mile-an-hour heater. 0-1. Boardman 0 for 3 today. A strikeout, a flyout, and a ground out. Boardman's been a very good table setter for Sonoma on the season. 28 games played. Entered today hitting .296. 20 runs batted in. Tied for third in the CCL.
Yeah, pretty uncharacteristic stuff until you realize the Crawdads have some of their best pitchers in terms of stuff out there.
Yeah, White was magnificent today. Nino, a guy whose stuff is electric. His last outing, he went 5 innings against the San Francisco Seagulls, faced 16 batters, allowed just 1 hit, 1 base runner. 0-1 to Boardman, fastball outside. 1-1. Nino, another University of the Pacific guy, transferred there after a couple seasons at Fresno City College. Made his debut this spring with the Tigers. 1-1 breaking ball well outside. 2-1 to Boardman. Nino on the season. This is his 7th appearance. He's made 1 start. 4.26 ERA entering today. 16 Ks to 10 walks. 2-1 to Boardman, fouled back.
I think Nino's just right now trying to get back to the form he had at the beginning of last inning where he sat down 2 pretty easily until things got south. Just can't leave too much over the heart of the plate.
No, so far in this appearance, he's been trying to paint the strike zone. Now going to a little bit of a more conservative approach. The 2-2 to Boardman. Fouled off home plate. We'll do it again. Cam Krogan, Braden Barnes also scheduled to make appearances out of the bullpen today for Walnut Creek, but neither up or moving at the moment. This inning, Nino's. The 2-2 once again. Breaking ball outside. 3-2 on Colton Boardman, the leadoff man for Sonoma. Trying to be the first man on in the top of the 6th. 1 down. 6-1 righty Nino sets at the belt. Comes home with the payoff. Swing and a miss. 91 miles an hour fastball.
Nino looking really good right now. And again, I think that last inning, he's just trying to keep a short-term memory and keep up the good stuff.
Absolutely. 2 straight Ks. Now he'll try to send down Max Handron. Get out of this inning facing the minimum. Handron 1 for 3 today. An RBI single in the 3rd. Strikeout and a flyout as well. Handron, one of the most effective batters in the Stompers order in a limited sample size as he takes a strike upstairs. 0-1. Handron, Berkeley teammate of Joey Donnelly, started in right field for the Crawdads, now playing over at first. The 0-1 to Handron, a fastball upstairs and away. 1-1. Handron keeping his hit streak alive. Extends it now to 7 games. 1-1 to him. Fastball well outside, 2-1.
You can just hear the pop on Clisby's glove. I mean, Nino has some of the best velocity on this team. So we've seen the Crawdads. A lot of their pitchers have picked up that velocity, too, these past few games.
Absolutely. We've seen it with McShane, a little bit earlier today with White. The 2-1. Fastball clips the outer third. It's now 3 straight fastballs from Nathan Nino. This one eventually finds the zone. 2-2. Third baseman Handron has had a good day defensively as well, Casey. He's made a couple of nice plays on some hard hit stuff over towards him. Nino looking for a put away. Here's the 2-2. Fastball below the knees. Full count once again.
Here, the coaching staff saying, go win it. I mean, Nino has been really good at coming back from some of these types of counts already.
Absolutely. Let's try to get out of it here. Here's the payoff. High fly ball, shallow left field. Ellis under it, and he puts it away. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 6th for Sonoma. Crawdads will try to extend the 9-5 lead here in the bottom of the 6th right after this. 1. Welcome back to the Crawdads streaming network for the bottom of the 6th inning. 9-5 ball game in favor of Walnut Creek. 2-3-4 due up. Brady Wilson, Joey Donnelly, Ryan Ellis. Wilson was left on a 3-2 count as Cam Taylor got caught stealing. So now he's back up, count resets. Haroon Pelja still on the hill. First offering to Wilson, check swing on a slider that clips the outer third, called strike anyway. 0-1 to Wilson. 0 for 3 today. 0 for 2, excuse me, 1 walk. It's only time on base. 0-1 fastball, same location as that slider, 0-2.
Wilson needs to protect. Has seen some really tough pitches so far this game.
Yeah, the Stompers have pitched him pretty well, all things considered. Pelja with the 0-2 comes home. Hard ground ball over to third. Handren with a lovely play, flips to first for the out.
Andrew's had some really nice plays over there on a day that's been riddled with tough defense. He's done a good job ranging and finding balls like that.
Absolutely. Even when the bat has been so-so for him today, the glove really holding its own. 1 down in the bottom of the 6th for Joey Donnelly, a man who's got 3 straight singles today. Donnelly's having a really nice day. Would love to continue that here. Help the Crawdads trying to add some more to the lead. First offering to the lefty, fouled back. 0-1. Donnelly 4 years at Cal. Only played in 20 games though for the Golden Bears. Was stuck as a reserve utility guy. Now is transferring to Fordham University in New York, where he hopes to get some better playing time, showcase that he's got it. The 0-1 to Donnelly. Bounces in the dirt, 1-1. Donnelly, one of the premier hitters in the CCL, entered today 3rd in the league in batting average, tied for 3rd in runs batted in. 20 RBIs entering today, hitting 406. A 1-1. Foul tip. 72-mile-an-hour curveball gets a nice bite. So now it's 1-2 to Donnelly. Donnelly has hits in 2 of his last 3 games. Went 1 for 4 yesterday with a big fly. That was the first run of the day for Walnut Creek as they struggled early against Menlo in San Mateo. The 1-2 from Pelja. Strike 3 called. 76-mile-an-hour changeup on the outer third. And Joey Donnelly stunned.
Yeah, tough look for Donnelly. Already has 3 hits today, so you know he's going to be kind of picky looking for a good pitch to hit again, and it's tough.
Absolutely, that was a really nice pitch from Haroon Pelja. So now he's trying to sit down the side in order. Ryan Ellis in the cleanup spot up. Ellis, the guy who's on a 2-game hit streak, was 1 for 4 against the San Luis Obispo Blues on Sunday, then 1 for 2 yesterday. A single and 2 walks. First offering to the lefty. Below the knees. 1-0, excuse me. Ellis 0 for 1 today. Struck out in his first at-bat in the 4th after coming into play left field, relieving John Ewens. The 1-0 fastball upstairs, 2-0. Ellis, the 3rd-year Crawdad, love to get something going here. 2 down in the bottom of the 6th. From the righty Pelja. Misses inside, 84 miles an hour on the heater. 3 balls and no strikes to Ellis. Came in the top of the 4th to play defensively. Making his 2nd at-bat of the day. Would love to get a hit here. Today hitting .235 in 17 games for Walnut Creek. 11 runs batted in. The 3-0. Fastball down the middle. Strike 1. 3-1 count on Ryan Ellis. Pelja and the Stompers trying to stop the bleeding, give themselves opportunities to come back into this one.
Had a lot of chances. They'll definitely want to come back to the stand.
The 3-1. Ellis lines this one into center field straight away. Hageman takes a couple steps backwards and fields it. So we'll head to the top of the 7th. Stompers still trailing by 4. We'll have that action right after this on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Welcome to the top of the 7th here in the Creek. Sonoma Stompers trailing by 4, up to bat against Nathan Nino, the righty for Walnut Creek, trying to get through his 3rd inning of work. He's allowed 2 runs on 2 hits, stranded 3 runners. 3-4-5 due up, starting with McCann Libby, second baseman for Sonoma. First offering to him, fouled back, 87-mile-an-hour fastball.
I think this inning's kind of a big litmus test for Nino, because obviously he's been through a couple innings now, giving up a little bit, but good recovery. See if he can fully capitalize on that here.
Absolutely. Allowed 4 base runners in his first inning. Here's the 0-1. Slider chopped over to second base. Esquivel collects after slipping and makes a nice throw for the out. 1 down in the top of the 7th. Nino and the Crawdads trying to hold Sonoma scoreless in the later innings of this one. Break the 4-game losing streak that they're currently on. Crawdads 3rd in the CCL North. The Stompers in the lead right now. Alameda Merchants separate the 2 teams, and then the Slow Blues not far behind Walnut Creek. First offering to Paul Lazul, the first baseman, swing and a miss, fastball upstairs.
Lazul hit one hard off Nino earlier. Kind of a rebattle.
Yeah, he drove in a run from first on that double. Takes one upstairs. 1-1. Lazul, 2-game hit streak. Had one on Saturday against the Merchants, and then last night, 2 for 8 in that mini 2-game series. The 1-1 from Nino. 89-mile-an-hour fastball gets a bite. 1-2. Lazul, rising sophomore at Monterey Peninsula College, hit 197 this spring for them in 24 games. Having a good year with the Stompers, trying to showcase his talent for prospective D1 programs. The 1-2 to the lefty first baseman outside. 2-2 count. 1 down here in the top of the 7th.
Nino's done a good job of kind of quieting down the Stompers. Just a lot of noise these past few innings.
The righty's 2-2 offering. Fastball well outside. Full count now to Lazul. And Nino, not unfamiliar with this territory. He's worked a couple full counts already, Casey. He's gotten out of some. Hasn't been so fortunate on the others. The payoff from Nino, fouled back. 2 straight heaters from the righty. He's trying to overpower the Stompers hitters at the moment, something he's been able to do thus far. But definitely has to be careful with Lazul, a guy with plenty of gap-to-gap power. The 3-2 runs just inside. 91-mile-an-hour fastball. So, 1 out base runner for Sonoma. Brings up Matthias Haas, designated hitter. He's got his first 2 hits of the season today. 2 for 3, a single, an RBI double, and a strikeout. Righty Haas steps in. Lazul taking a hearty lead at first. First offering from Nino. 88-mile-an-hour heater upstairs. Cam Krogan warming up in the bullpen for Walnut Creek. See how short the leash is on Nino. 1-1 breaking ball below the knees. 2-0. Nino struggled in his first 4 outings for Walnut Creek, allowed 2 earned runs in 3 of them. As he gets a swing and miss there on the heater low in the zone, 2-1. In totality, he's allowed 8 hits entering today. But has since turned it around a little bit. Trying to continue that here, the 2-1. Soft ground ball over to DeFazio, the throw to second in time, the throw to first in time as well. 6-4-3 double play. Crawdads escape the inning. Led to the top of the 7th where they'll try to extend the 9-5 lead here on the Walnut Creek streaming network. We're live for the bottom of the 7th here on the Crawdad Streaming Network. Walnut Creek up by 4. Heart of the order due up. Brandon Clisby, Riley Leininger, Chris Esquivel, 5-6-7 against Harun Pelja, who came in to start the 4th inning, Casey, and he's been really effective so far. Just 1 run on 3 hits. He's retired quite a few Crawdad batters.
Offense has slowed down for both teams after really piled on early. Kind of broke out.
First offering to Clisby, big swing and a miss. Elevated heater from Pelja.
I think if you're the Crawdads, you're content in this position. You obviously want to add on more, but your pitcher, Nathan Nino, has done the same thing.
Now the 0-1 to Clisby. Outside, you're absolutely right. Crawdads just trying to get a win here, stop the 4-game skid. Got another matchup against Sonoma, then 1 with the Merchants and 2 more with the Legends. Got to be careful.
By any means necessary.
The 1-1. Breaking ball just outside. Nice frame job from Poloski, but he doesn't quite get it. 2-1 to Clisby, a guy who's 0 for 2 on the day, walked in the first, and then has been retired since on a ground ball and a strikeout.
And if you're the Crawdads, you have to off day tomorrow.
The 2-1 to Clisby, chopped softly back to Pelja on the bump. Will charge over to first and flip to Lazul for the out.
Good play by Pelja, staying heads up. But back to what I was saying, obviously you have that off day, and I think a much needed one for the Crawdads. They had to take a trip down to slow and then play every day since. Really no breaks for Walnut Creek.
No, not at all. It's been go, go, go the past 5 days for the Crawdads. It's now 1 down, no one on in the bottom of the 7th for Riley Leininger, a guy who's 3 for 3 today, Kasey, with a single, a double, and a triple. 3 RBIs. First offering to Pelja, hits Leininger. No shot at the cycle in this at-bat. He'll take his base on the hit by pitch. 1 out base runner. It's Chris Esquivel now, the second baseman, who's been solid defensively today. Just the 1 error, but has turned some really nice plays. Esquivel also 0 for 2 today, was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, stole a bag after that. Reach on an error in the 1st and grounded out in the 4th. Looking for his first hit of the day. Has not had one the past 2 games. His last hit came June 28th against these very Stompers. He was 1 for 3 in Sonoma that day. First offering to Esquivel. Fastball clips the outer 3rd, strike 1. Esquivel, the former St. Mary's Gale in the portal. Being 196 entering today in 18 games for Walnut Creek. Leininger, solid lead at first, the 0-1. Another fastball on the outer 3rd, strike 2. Esquivel's held the bat thus far in this at-bat. We'll see if he swings. He took some really nice ones earlier today in BP. The 0-2. Chopped through the gap on the right side of the infield. Great piece of hitting for Chris Esquivel, his first of the day. Now there's 2 aboard for Casey Levitt-McGee, the center fielder for Walnut Creek. A guy who's also 0 for 2, walked in the 3rd. And a strikeout and a flyout otherwise. RBI opportunity for the former Laney College man. I say former because he's headed to Cal State Bakersfield.
Should be a good fit for him after great years at Laney College.
Absolutely, 2 seasons where he hit well over 380, excuse me. Levitt-McGee, 2 for his last 6 against the Blues and the Legends last week. First offering to the lefty. High fly ball on the left side, trailing in foul territory, and it's out of play. Levitt-McGee, a guy who's been up and down, really struggled out of the gate for Walnut Creek, was 1 for 17 in the Crawdads' first 5 games. Then he turned it around, went 5 for 12 in the next 4 for him, from June 17th to 21st. Since then, it's been up and down. Has hits in 4 of his last 6 games, or 4 of his last 10 games, excuse me. Either way, it's 0-1 to the lefty center fielder. Originally started in left field, then went to first. Now is in center after all the defensive subs for the Crawdads. Pelja glances at second. The 0-1 line sharply on the ground over to Lazul, who pulls the covering shortstop Boardman off the bag on the errant throw. Leininger will score from 3rd.
I think that just sums up what we've seen on defense today. It's been a really tough showing, especially on the right side.
Absolutely right. That now the 6th error for Sonoma. Costly one at that as the Crawdads lead 10-5 now. So still 2 on, an RBI opportunity for Nico DeFazio with only 1 down in the bottom of the 7th. DeFazio 0 for 3 today. Did reach on a fielder's choice in the 3rd, but has hit everything today on the ground. Pelja kicks and delivers a breaking ball in the dirt. 1-0 to DeFazio.
And that's a big run because we haven't seen much offense these past few frames. And again, if you're the Crawdads, you kind of just want to inch that lead up a bit more. Get your pitchers some support.
Absolutely. Lineup threatening a turnover here. Should DeFazio get aboard and the Crawdads avoid a double play. The 1-0 to the Crawdad shortstop. Fastball at the letters, strike 1. Fazio entered today hitting .286 in 4 games. Limited sample size, but had a 3-game hit streak going before his last appearance against the Legends last Wednesday. The 1-1 offering to him, slider in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Fazio hasn't gotten all the looks he's like today, but again, has had a pretty good disciplined approach coming out to the plate. That's why he's put the ball in play as many times as he has.
Exactly right. Generally a guy who doesn't strike out a whole lot. 3 on the season thus far. The 2-1 from Pelja. Swinging a high fly ball, shallow center field. Hegeman comes on to make the catch. So now there's 2 retired, still 2 aboard. Lineup turns over for Cam Taylor. Guy who's 1 for 1 after he singled in the 5th. Was later caught stealing though.
Just shows Pulowski's arm. I mean, he's gunned down 2 guys today, and Pulowski, again, I mean, through the silver lining, I guess, for the Stompers is his defense through, you know, obviously 6 errors on the day. He's been the one really good defensive force, like you mentioned, throwing down Cam Taylor earlier.
Indeed. Taylor now on a 2-game hitting streak after he got that single earlier today. Levitt McGee dancing at second base. First offering to the lefty. Taylor, fastball below the knees. 1-0 to Taylor. Mentioned earlier, spent this spring at Eastern Kentucky. Before that, he was at Andrew College in 2024 and Florence Darlington Tech in 2023. Looking for his 4th college now in the transfer portal. Pelja, 2 looks to second. The 1-0 to Taylor. Change up well outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Taylor, a guy with 9 runs batted in on the season, 2 extra base hits. 206 batting average entering today. The 2-0 to the lefty. Breaking ball below the knees. 3 balls and no strikes on Cam Taylor. And in this spot, Casey, you think he's got the green light?
When you're up 5, you got 2 on. I think you maybe do. If you have a pitch in the wheelhouse, why not?
Absolutely right, especially with 2 down. Crawdads want to add even more insurance in this inning.
Also a guy who came in as a sub.
The 3-0 from Pelja. Fastball on the outer third. Taylor thought it was ball 4, and it probably was. 6 inches outside of home plate. Instead, it's 3-1 to Taylor.
2 balls off.
Both runners with big leads. The 3-1 in the dirt. So Taylor walked on 5 pitches. And it brings up Brady Wilson, the designated hitter for Walnut Creek, who's 0 for 3. Walked in the first, his lone time aboard. And Casey, Wilson is a guy who's due.
Yeah, he's had a bevy of opportunities so far, and now as the bases is loaded, and really, I mean, if you want to put the dagger in the Stompers right now, you put up a few runs here, you might be able to do it.
Absolutely. Pitch coach Mike Nunez will walk out from Stompers dugout, have a chat with Pelja and the entire infield for Sonoma. Wilson's a guy with plus power, Casey. We've seen it already on the season. He displays it regularly in batting practice. Only 1 extra base hit on the season and 4 hits total for him.
That was the grand slam in San Francisco. Could get another one here.
Indeed it was. He hit a moonshot into the dark night air out in San Bruno. That one a eventual 24-0 victory for Walnut Creek as they demolished the Seagulls. Matter of fact, Casey, since then, Wilson has yet to record a hit. All 4 of his hits came in that game, as he was magnificent there. Conference is over. Stompers going back to their positions. Wilson trying to deal damage. 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. Bases juiced. Trying to extend the Crawdads' 5-run lead. Showed Wilson get aboard. Joey Donnelly, another dangerous man, up next. Pelja winds and fires. First offering, look out, that's a pass ball. Yes, Escobar running all the way in. He'll score on the wild pitch. Both runners advance as well.
So no Grand Slam opportunity for Brady Wilson.
Not anymore, but the Crawdads will take it. Up 11-5 now. 2 unearned runs have come across in this inning. One on the error from the Lazul throw, where Casey Levin McGee reached. And then that one there on the wild pitch. Either way, it's 1-0 at the dish to Wilson. The offering from Pelja, fastball yanked outside, 2-0. The 2-0 now from Pelja. Fastball upstairs, 3 balls and no strikes. Stompers in danger of walking the bases loaded yet again. Wilson, a guy no stranger to extra base hits. Had 6 as a freshman with Sac City College, 4 this spring. Here's the 3-0 to Wilson. Ball 4 inside. 2 straight free passes from Haroon Pelja, and now the manager for Sonoma, Zach Pace, is going to have a chat. Likely done for Pelja.
Yeah, tough outing for him when it's all said and done, but of course had some good looks early on in the game.
So with the pitching change, we'll step aside here on the Crawdads Streaming Network when we come back. Still bottom of the 7th, bases juiced and 2 out. Welcome back to the bottom of the 7th on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Walnut Creek up 6 runs here on the Sonoma Stompers, and they got the bases juiced. 2 outs, it's Joey Donnelly up against the new pitcher, Christian Klosterman, rising senior at College of San Mateo. Klosterman 1-0 in 5 games for the Stompers, 3.85 ERA. Righty's first offering to Donnelly, swing and a miss. 83-mile-an-hour pitch on the outer third. Donnelly, a guy who's got 20 runs batted in this season for Walnut Creek, in the upper echelons of that stat in the CCL, tied for 3rd, matter of fact. There's a fastball on the outer third, called strike 2.
Donnelly struck out looking last time, so he's going to have to protect here. 2 strikes.
Another pitch there that was 6 inches outside of home plate. Either way, it's 0-2 on Donnelly, who, like you said, Casey does have to protect now. Klosterman comes home with the 0-2. Breaking ball skied into the infield. Handren over at third. He'll collect. Crawdads strand the bases loaded. We'll head to the top of the 8th. They do get 2 across on a couple unearned runs. So we'll have the rest of the action right after this. Welcome to the top of the 8th on the Crawdads streaming network. New pitcher for Walnut Creek is Cam Krogan, the high leverage right-handed reliever for the Crawdads. He'll face 5'6'7" Poloski Shannon Keys. Krogan and the Crawdads up by 6, trying to put this one away and take the season series 3-2, at least this far into CCL play against Sonoma. First offering to Poloski, grounded up the middle, base hit.
Hard hit ball there. And again, I mean, Pulowski has been a really good hitter today. Excuse me, really good player in general. Not so much on the hitting side today, but the defense has been there and finally gets rewarded on the hitting side.
Yeah, that's his first knock of the day. Krogan, a guy who likes to go high velocity on the fastball, sits around 90 miles an hour. Pulowski does a nice job sending it back up. Now it's Brady Shannon with one aboard. First offering to him, 78 miles an hour slider inside. 1-0. Shannon 1 for 2 today, a fly out, an RBI double, and a hit by pitch. Youngstown State man trying to do some work here. The 1-0 from Krogan. Fastball on the outer third, strike 1. Shannon in a bit of disbelief. He'll head back to the right-handed batter's box, try to sort this one out. Here's the 1-1 from Krogan. Slider in the opposite batter's box. 2-1.
And I was thinking about it. I feel like with the Crawdads and their struggles recently on offense, I feel like giving up those 5 runs, won't be mad at all about it. I mean, they needed to let out their frustrations today on the 4-game losing streak, and on way to winning one.
Absolutely, as the 2-1 from Krogan. Fastball below the knees, 3-1. Krogan struggling to find the zone. Not something we've really seen a lot of this summer. This is his 13th appearance, enters today with a 2.7 ERA and 13 1/3 innings pitched. 3-1 fastball at the knees, strike 2. Full count now on Shannon. Krogan, the Pepperdine man, trying to retire. Second batter he's seen now. Get the first out of the inning. Here's the payoff from the righty. Swing and a foul ball. That one jammed in on the hand. Shannon just gets a piece. So we'll do it again. Krogan, the 6'4", 210-pound righty. Went to high school down the street at San Ramon Valley. He's a native of Danville, where the Crawdads play right here in Monte Vista. Krogan, as a member of the rival school, has seen this field quite a lot. The 3-2 chopped foul on the third base side. Shannon continuing to fight. 2 fastballs in on the hands.
Yeah, indeed. And again, I mean, the Stompers right now need base runners. They're a team that can come back, but they're going to have to bank on mistakes.
Absolutely. Stompers, one of the better offenses in the entire CCL. Definitely one of the top offenses in the North. They've been a little quieter today. Here's the 3-2 once again. Slider outside, fouled away. Neither Krogan nor Shannon willing to give an inch in this one. Certainly a crucial at-bat with no one out in the top of the 8th and 1 aboard. Krogan's 3-2 pitch. Off-speed pitch belted into deep center field. Levitt McGee back. He doesn't have a chance. Brady Shannon with a 2-run shot in the top of the 8th. So now the Stompers trailing by just 4. And all of a sudden, Kasey, this becomes a little more manageable.
That was a crushed ball to center field. I mean, 400 feet out to center field. And again, it's tough to clear that batter's eye. It's taller than the fences around it. And again, I mean, game much closer now. And Krogan, not a guy you expect to give that up.
No, not at all. Krogan rarely allows fly balls. Most of the stuff is hard hit on the ground or softly in the air. It's now still no one out. Base is empty following the homer. It's Trent Keys, the left-handed left fielder. Keys, a guy you know to get on base a lot. Not through the hit, though, as he grounds one over to third. Leininger, throw to first, not there. Donnelly can't pick it. So now Keys rounding second. He'll head for third as the Crawdads still trying to pick this one out. Great throw over there from Esquivel, but not on line, not quite in time.
Yeah, like a little league triple we could say, as he gets to third. And again, I mean, they're making it interesting right now.
So now it's Ben Sebastiani, the pinch hitter. Sebastiani in for Cam Hageman. Now a runner in scoring position, still no one out in the top of the 8th.
Not a bad depth guy to have off your bench, Sebastiani. We saw him start against the Crawdads earlier in the year.
Yeah, not at all. Sebastiani, 115 hitter in 16 games with Sonoma. First offering from Krogan, fastball in the opposite batter's box, 1-0.
Looks like Braden Barnes is up and warming for the Crawdads. Was expected to pitch today, but things might be going south here for Krogan.
The 1-0 from Krogan. High fly ball into right field. Taylor is there. Now a big throw cut off by Donnelly. It won't be in time as Keys tags up and scores from third.
Productive out, and now 3 runs. And they have 4 outs to work with. Not impossible. A lot closer than what it was moments ago.
Absolutely, a 3-run game all of a sudden for Sonoma. Suddenly things getting a little tight for Walnut Creek. Lineup turns over, it's Colton Boardman. 1 down in the top of the 8th. He'll try to table set. Allow the rest of the lineup to try to get him in. Shows bunt, goes foul. 0-1. Boardman hitless today, 0 for 4. 2 strikeouts swinging, a flyout, and a ground out. Very uncharacteristic day for a guy who's been the consistent leadoff hitter for the Stompers. Also has a pair of errors in the field. The 0-1 from Krogan. Fastball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Boardman, the Las Vegas native, went to Bishop Gorman High School. First team all-selection and offensive MVP as a senior.
Big football school.
The 1-1. Hard ground ball over to second base. Esquivel collects and throws to Donnelly in time.
Maybe what Krogan needs to settle down a little bit. Again, sitting down the last two, of course, the sacrifice fly scores in a run, but again, they only have a few outs to work with. So if you can hold them in check, it doesn't matter if it's only like a 3-run game or 2-run game.
Absolutely. 4 outs now for Sonoma to get 3 runs. Max Handren, who's 1 for 4 today, is up now. Spectacular defender in this one. First offering, check swing on the fastball. The appeal to third says no. 1-0. The 1-0 from Krogan. Another fastball below the knees. 2-0. Krogan, a guy who's struggled with command collegiately. Appeared in 5 games as a freshman. Allowed 7 free passes. No strikeouts in those 5 games. As this offering skied high in the air, shallow center field. DeFazio over from shortstop to make the play in left center. So the Crawdads finally retire the Stompers, but not before 3 runs come across, courtesy of a Brady Shannon home run and a Ben Sebastiani sac fly. Led to the bottom of the 8th. Crawdads trying to add some insurance to this 3-run lead. Welcome back to the Crawdad Streaming Network for the bottom of the 8th. Sonoma scored 3 to bring this one within 3. Crawdads trying to add some more to the lead. Part of the order due up, Ryan Ellis, Brandon Clisby, Riley Leininger will all see guaranteed at-bats. They'll face the tough righty Christian Klosterman. Came in to record the last out in the bottom of the 7th against Joey Donnelly. Klosterman enters today with a 3.85 ERA in 4 2/3 innings pitched. 3 strikeouts to 4 walks and 3 hits. Now the second batter he'll face, it's Ryan Ellis. Ellis 0 for 2 today. The first offering to him below the knees on the fastball, 1-0.
It's a big inning right now for the Crawdads. Just get some base runners, take back the momentum.
Absolutely. Try not to make it a save opportunity for Braden Barnes. The 1-0 fastball on the outer third. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ryan Ellis. Like we mentioned, Ellis 0 for 2, a strikeout in the 4th, and a fly out to center field in the 6th. Came in to replace John Ewens in the batting order as he grounds the 1-1 over to second base. Libby collects the throw to Lazul in time.
Nice play on a hard hit ball. Libby struggled with some of those ones, and range 2 is right there and makes the out.
So 1 down in the top of the 8th, bottom of the 8th, excuse me. It's Brandon Clisby for Walnut Creek. Clisby 0 for 3 with a walk in the 1st, his lone time aboard. Clisby, perhaps the best offensive catcher for Walnut Creek, entered today hitting .296 in 13 games. 10 runs driven in. First offering to him, high breaking ball. Slow ground ball over to second. Libby with another putout. So quickly 2 down as Christian Klosterman making short work of the Crawdads. 2 down, it'll be Riley Leininger, who who's 3 for 3. A single, a double, a triple, and a hit by pitch for Leininger. And boy, he'd be completing the cycle at a very nice time, should he have that opportunity. Klosterman's first offering to the lefty, fastball outside, 1-0. Leininger 1 for 4 yesterday against the Legends, had an RBI single late in the game to bring the game within 1 run. Crawdads couldn't get anything more after that. 1-0 from Klosterman, fastball middle, strike 1. And a recent adjustment for Leininger, head coach Brant Cummings told him last week, get violent with your swing, use the leverage, use the power in your stance. 1-1, belted high in the air, center field. Keys makes a couple steps to his right and puts it away. Leininger retired on the deep flyout. Crawdads sat down in order. We'll go to the top of the 9th. Stompers with a last chance to score 3 right after this. Welcome back to the Crawdad Streaming Network. Walnut Creek up by 3, trying to retire the Stompers for the last time today. 3-4-5 due up McCann, Libby, Paul Lazul, Matthias Haas, and they'll face the closer for Walnut Creek, Braden Barnes. Barnes, the recent New Mexico State commit, 4.29 ERA in 9 appearances this summer. Third in the CCL with 28 strikeouts. First offering from him upstairs on the 88-mile-an-hour heater. 1-0 to Libby, 0 for 4 today. Reached on a walk in the 5th. The 1-0 from Barnes, fastball down the middle, strike 1.
Barnes with some whip on that pitch, and again, he knows the situation, has an opportunity for the save. Going to see a lot of heat from him.
Second save opportunity on the season for Barnes. The 1-1 slider in there for a strike.
I mean, even his off-speed pitches look like they have a lot of velocity on him, and I think that's why he was so highly touted out of the transfer portal.
Yeah, 79-mile-an-hour slider there. Former Arizona State Sun Devil kicks and fires the 1-2, fouled back. So we'll do it again. 1-2 count on Libby. Second baseman had some nice putaways in the last half inning. A couple ground balls his way. Does have an error on the day as well. The 1-2 from Barnes, swing and a miss. 80-mile-an-hour slider. Stompers, 2 outs left to score 3 runs and tie this ball game up.
And that's why Braden Barnes is such a good pitcher to have in these late game situations, because you know he's going to attack the zone even on 0-2. That's why he has over 30 strikeouts right now.
Absolutely. He's been magnificent in the high leverage situations all year long for Walnut Creek. First offering to the new batter, Lazul, upstairs. Another slider. 1-0. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Lazul 1 for 3 today, a walk and an RBI double. The 1-0 from Barnes. Another slider high. 2-0. Barnes last appeared on Saturday against the San Luis Obispo Blues. Had a scoreless inning, 2 hits allowed in that one. The 2-0 to Lazul, fastball low and away, 3 balls and no strikes.
Kind of uncharacteristic here from Barnes.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a guy we've seen throw an immaculate inning back on June 27th. Barnes trying to recover here. The 3-0 fastball at the knees, strike 1. It's definitely the way to do it there, Kasey. Nice fastball. Didn't do too much with it.
Seems like he's not trying to take a long time with his windup either, just trying to get the pitches in.
There's the 3-1. Fastball upstairs this time. A walk on 5 pitches for Paul Lazul. 1 base runner closer for Sonoma. Still only 1 out in the top of the 9th. Matthias Haas up now. Haas 2 for 4 today, a single, an RBI double in the 5th. Last time up, he grounded into a double play in the 7th. Would love to avoid the same thing here. First offering from Barnes, fastball at the knees, strike 1. On the flip side of that coin, Barnes would love to turn a pair.
He would love that right now, an opportunity to keep his resurgence.
The 0-1 fouled back, 79-mile-an-hour slider in the upper 3rd.
Barnes is such a high leverage pitcher. He's a guy that probably doesn't want to pitch too much here if he doesn't have to, and rolling a pair would keep that in check.
Absolutely. Barnes, after striking out Libby, now tied for 2nd in the CCL in Ks. As the 0-2 offering runs away, 81-mile-an-hour changeup, 1-2. Barnes 29 strikeouts in now 15 full innings. Here's the 1-2 to Matthias, grounded over to Esquivel. The throw to 2nd, now to 1st in time. 4-6-3 double play, and the Crawdads win 11-8 over the Sonoma Stompers.
There you go, you called it. That's the way you end the game. And the Crawdads with a much-needed win here in the CCL North, beating the top team. And now you have a day off to rethink things over.
Absolutely a day where the offense needed to come alive. They absolutely did. So in the past 3 games, 2 of them in CCL play, Kasey, the Crawdads have scored over 20 runs combined. Now they'll head with the off day like you mentioned, and they play the Stompers in Sonoma on Friday, before they come back home with a couple games against the Legends and the Merchants. So with that, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in here on the Walnut Creek Streaming Network. For Kasey Kazliner, Charlie Limoncelli signing off. We hope you all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you again on Friday, 6 o'clock.